in the Premier League. But he's a really good understudy, and that's why Klopp has the belief in him. And you said it before, that even if Alisson was fit, then he still would have been playing, and I think that tells you what Jurgen thinks of him.
Applause in the background because the Chelsea and Liverpool players are both making their way off the pitch now at the end of their warm-up. The Liverpool goalkeepers, including Kelleher, away to the left-hand side. On the right, it's Judge Petrovic, the young goalkeeper for Chelsea, signed for £14 million from Major League Soccer. The irony, Paul, if Chelsea have spent hundreds of millions, pretty much £1 billion on players, it could well be that one of the best signings is a keeper they picked up for £14 million.
Yeah, exactly. He's certainly seizing his chance at the minute. He's got in there off the back of an injury, and his form's been pretty good. It's coincided with the team picking up results, so he's in on merit at the minute, and he'll be wanting to seize this opportunity and stay in the team. But as you say, with the millions and millions of pounds that's been spent, relatively cheap transfer for Chelsea, and it could be one that proves really, really valuable this season.
What would you say to him? Young goalkeeper like that, never played in a game like this, ahead of the biggest game in his young career.
Yeah, listen, I think the goalkeeper coach will have been working really closely with him, preparing him for this, preparing him for the occasion. Listen, it is just a game of football, but it's the occasion that is different, and I think that is something that you've got to be aware of. But he needs to play his normal game. I think what helps him is there's no changes in front of him. It's a pretty set team now for the last few weeks. So all that is familiar. The only difference is it's a cup final.
I want to talk about managerial mind games, Paul. Maurizio Pochettino, ahead of the game, has asked the officials not to take the fact that it's Jurgen Klopp's last season into account. You lot love to plant a little seed like that, don't you?
Yeah, I like that. Listen, you've asked me about officials on purpose, haven't you?
No,
no. Well, I'll still be careful what I say. But no, it's mind games. It is that there will be some big calls, and the way VAR has been working this season, it is backing up the officials on the pitch. You know, we are getting down the line now, unless it's a clear and obvious error, it won't be overturned. So we are relying, and rightly so, for the officials to do the jobs on the pitch. So I think that is a little reminder, a cheeky little reminder from Maurizio.
Paul, where do you think where's the line with that when you talk about the officials? Because I would have thought, as managers, the powers that be will make it very clear to you what you can say and what you can't say. And how close is what he said to being on or over the line?
No, I think the fact he said it before anything's happened helps him. I think the fact it is a relevant thing he's saying. Yeah, but it will have been noted, and I'm sure if there is any sort of follow-up after a game, he'll certainly be disciplined. But I think it's just something a little reminder. We hear managers a lot talk about, if you're playing against a physical team, you know, I hope the referee's strong before we play this game, we're going to need a strong referee. I think it's just something to really focus the attention of the officials on something that could be important in the game.
He'll get his knuckles wrapped for that though, won't he, Alan?
Really?
I don't think so. It's not that bad, is it?
It wasn't that bad.
Well, is it not like what Erik ten Hag said this time last year, saying, oh, you know, they've got to be aware of the amount of time the ball is out of play when Newcastle are playing?
Yeah, and Fergie was the king of that, wasn't he? It was every Friday morning he used to send a little message out in his press conference to the referees.
Yeah, and when he retired, they then clamped down on it because he was out of the way.
Absolutely.
I wouldn't be at all surprised if he was. However,
really, I don't.
However, if he is, I don't think he'll not lose any sleep, will he? Because he said what he wants to say.
Not if they win the game,
if they win the cup final,
and the decision goes his way, then it's been worth it.
Do you think, Paul, it can actually have an impact? Because big games, big managers, the biggest managers in the business do it and try it and just drop that little line in. They wouldn't do it if they didn't think it would work.
There's a human element to anybody's job on the pitch, whether you're a player, but certainly the officials, and just planting a little seed in someone's head, it puts the focus back onto that. So yeah, there's an intention behind what Maurizio said, without a doubt. It may not come to fruition, but he'll certainly be wanting the referees to make sure there's no emotion, no sentiment towards Jurgen and what is his final season at Liverpool.
I wonder how much emotion there will be for Jurgen Klopp, Alan. I was at Anfield the first game after he announced he was leaving, and you could tell that it that it got to him. This is a huge day for him. Maybe they'll have more cup finals this season. There's every chance that they will, but this is the opportunity today.
Well, this is the first, I think, of maybe 2 or 3. I don't think they'll get all of them that they want, but certainly in terms of they're right up there, the top of the league. They're in this final. They've got a great chance in Europe as well. So he'll want, his players will want, and the fans will react to every single game from now until the end of the season for him, and rightly so, because he's what he's done for that great football club.
When they were out there warming up, the eyes are naturally drawn to him because of this, and you know, ever since he came to this country, the very first time, I mean, Paul, you must have had it when you've been up against him and he stands on the halfway line looking at your players. You know, that's been consistent, hasn't it? That's what he does, but he cannot be human if he wasn't standing out there thinking that, you know, this might be the last time that I'm in this place managing Liverpool on a day like this.
Yeah, definitely. Listen, I don't think it's it's certainly by choice that he made the announcement when he made it, and I certainly think that they're trying to use it to their advantage for this season. The emotion, it's no coincidence to me that the week after he called on Anfield to become more vociferous and more vocal in the support for the team, that he comes out and announces that he's leaving. So I think there's a big intention behind it, and from that point on, you've got to say it's been working. So yeah, it's certainly a tactic. We're on about what Maurizio's used, trying to use a tactic. Jurgen, a master of emotion and trying to create intensity, he's tried to do that with the fan base, and so far he's been proved right.
Yeah, he's planting a seed, Alan, but in a different place, isn't it? With the crowd, with the fans.
Football, the psychology in football is a huge part of the game. Whether you're trying to get a word out to the referee, whether you're trying to get words out to your fans, whether you've got a mother or father, someone through a game or through a week because they're having problems, you're basically a parent to 25 or 30 people, as well as looking after millions and millions of your fan base. So you're always trying to gain a tiny little advantage, or you've always got to look after your player or get that message out somehow. And psychology in football is, in sport, is massive. No different in football.
That's why I think today is so important for them, because this is the first one, and we all know what the reaction will be and what people will say if they don't win this one. And they've now got Manchester City right down their necks, 1 point behind them in the Premier League, and yes, obviously in the Europa League, I think they've got a kind draw there for Liverpool against Sparta Prague, and they've got a home match against Southampton in the FA Cup. There's still, you know, a route to go down there. If this goes against them today, you know what Liverpool fans are like as well. You know, there'll be jitters.
Remember, Wolves versus Sheffield United. You can listen to that now if you want over on 5 Sports Extra. Let's get the latest from Molyneux. Rob Schofield.
Yeah, 58 minutes gone, Steve. Wolves 1, Sheffield United 0. Home side come out a little bit sloppy here, and Sheffield United seeing quite a lot of the ball as they come on the break here. James McAtee picking up a dangerous position, charging upfield. It's been still Pablo Sarabia's goal that's the difference. The ball comes into Ryan Brewster at the far post, still without a Premier League goal, and that run continues. Jose Sarr takes the ball and clears it for the home side. It's still Wolves 1, Sheffield United 0.
Paul Heckingbottom, Ian Dennis, Alan Shearer, John Murray, all with us here inside Wembley Stadium. Out on the pitch, some of the volunteers have just started to pick up the big, long flags that they will unveil on the Wembley Stadium pitch very shortly. The DJ booth opposite us that Pat Nevin was telling us what kind of music he would play before the cup final is away to the far side, and they're striking up the band as well. We've got just under 15 minutes to go until kick-off in the League Cup final. Chelsea versus Liverpool. So let's zone in on 1 or 2 of the key battles. One of the big storylines, I suppose, Alan, today could be Moises Caicedo, the man who turned down Liverpool to go to Chelsea. Hasn't, like the rest of his teammates, had the best start, but what an opportunity today.
Yeah, and he's one of his old teammates in there as well, in McAllister. For whatever reason, he chose to go to the blue of Chelsea. As you said, it hasn't quite worked out for them, but there's a few players you can actually say that against in that Chelsea team. They haven't looked as comfortable as we thought they might do. As we said earlier, it's a work in progress. So those two in the midfield, Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez, will have a huge part to play today. Even though Liverpool are missing some of their big hitters up front, they've still got enough ability to cause problems.
I wonder, Paul, if that might be one of the big differences at the moment between Liverpool and Chelsea. You know, they both have Argentinian World Cup winners in their starting 11s who played together in Qatar. Enzo Fernandez for Chelsea, Alexis McAllister for Liverpool. McAllister seems to have been such a natural fit at Liverpool. Started playing deeper, then moved more advanced. It all makes sense. Enzo Fernandez is a fantastic player, but has he really found his feet yet?
No, I don't think so, but also McAllister's come into a system which was well drilled. Really clear how Jurgen wants to play. He's coming to something that's established, something that's already running and working really well. Chelsea are brand new. We keep alluding to the fact on the pitch, off the pitch. So Enzo's not coming into something that is already clearly defined. He's got to make that position his own, along with all the other new players that they've signed. So I think that's the big difference, and that's why you probably do see little differences in the performance levels.
I wonder, Alan, if Jurgen Klopp knew when he missed out on Caicedo that he'd end up getting Endo and he would have the impact that he has had, whether he would have said, OK, let's make that happen.
Well, what was that phrase? You better be a lucky manager than a good manager.
Right.
Sometimes that's the way it works, isn't it? You've got to have a little bit of luck, whoever you are, whether you're a player, manager, coach, whatever work you're in, you've got to have a little bit of luck now and again. Without it, you won't be as successful.
Great scenes here now inside Wembley Stadium with all the flags just waved out in front of us. The teams will be with us very, very shortly inside England's National Stadium. There is a big circular Liverpool banner which is now being just thrown up and down in the air away to our left-hand side, and the same for Chelsea fans as the scarves wave and big red and blue carpets are lined up either side of the halfway line. The Allez, Allez, Allez song booming out of the speakers for the Liverpool supporters. I imagine it'll be something like Blue Day for Chelsea shortly. If it is going to be a blue day, Paul Heckingbottom, how much is on Nicholas Jackson, who we heard from earlier?
Yeah, definitely. He's had an up and down start, getting chances but missing chances. The service team's going to be really important. So we spoke about the midfield playing behind, Sterling off one side against Bradley and Cole Palmer drifting in and picking up little positions to try and create these chances for him. But if he does get the opportunities today, I don't think he's going to get too many, so he's going to need to be clinical. And again, if Chelsea do get the lead, I think the game becomes a little bit easier for them in terms of, we know Liverpool aren't going to sit back, it's a cup final, and there may be more space then for Jackson to exploit.
10 minutes to kick off then. Come on, Alan. We said that the team news for Liverpool might influence how everybody felt about the final. So how do you feel about the final?
I hope I'm wrong, but I don't see a lot of goals in it, Steve. I think it could be a very long afternoon, and it wouldn't surprise me at all if again this fixture went to penalties.
Paul?
Yeah, I'm hoping for a result. I'm hoping we see a Chelsea team that comes out and performs the way it did against Manchester City, for example, especially in that 4-4 game. And if they do that, then I hope they go on and win it.
What an occasion as well it's going to be for young Conor Bradley, who was just steamed into this Liverpool team, Alan. It's been an unbelievably quick rise for him, hasn't it? And it seems ridiculous to say they're not missing Trent Alexander-Arnold, but they sort of aren't.
I know. I was at the Emirates, I think it was, when him and Bobby Clark came on that afternoon. And as I said earlier about the belief that Jurgen had in them to put them into that situation. And as both of them did really well, but Conor was the standout. I mean, he was up against it straight away. He didn't phase away shy away from anything, and he looked really, really comfortable in that position. And he has done it every time he's played since. So I would have no worries about him this afternoon.
And that is the side of this fixture which I think is always fascinating as well, Paul, is that you can have these young players coming through the system who can make a huge difference. Conor Gallagher is that for Chelsea, and he's a player who, you know, if you believe what you hear, they could have ended up selling not so long ago as well.
Exactly, yeah, and similar to Bradley at Liverpool, they both cut the teeth out on loan, got a lot of games and a lot of first-team experience using the loan market. Gallagher's come back now, established himself. His energy and his work rate is something that really does rub off on this Chelsea team, and he's going to be a big player for them today.
Yeah, and let's not forget, in Chelsea's injury list as well has been really lengthy this season, so they've got a couple of teenagers, Jimmy Tauriainen and Billy G, who've never been on the bench for Chelsea before for a first-team match, and here they are on the bench for a cup final. And on the Liverpool side, how old does it make you feel when son of Lee and son of Jason, Bobby Clark and Lee Kumas, are suddenly on the bench and professional footballers.
You have to spoil a good day, don't you, John?
That made me feel old. I'm only 38.
You've also got Jaden Dance. He's the son of Neil.
Is that all you are, Steve? 38?
Yeah. Sorry, Alan.
Me.
He had a hard paper out.
The hardest, it really was. All the players now are making their way out onto the pitch here at Wembley Stadium for the 2024 League Cup final. Actually, Ian, whilst I've got you just for a second now as well, we're about to watch the presentation party come out, which will include the EFL chairman Rick Parry walking down the line of these two huge Premier League clubs, with a massive meeting coming up next week when it comes to the amount of money that are given to the Football League. So, you know, he's got a big job on at the minute as well.
Yes, he certainly has. I mean, I think the most important thing for today, though, he'll just want to, as a former Liverpool chief executive, he'll just want to enjoy the day. I think this is in the past it's been a much maligned competition. But what the beauty of this is that they say it's the people's final because you get a greater allocation than you do for the FA Cup final for the two sets of supporters. So what a spectacle now we have with the royal blue of Chelsea away towards our right, with a huge banner that has just been unfurled from the top tier. We are the famous, and I presume it continues on the other side of the screen, away towards our right, and then the Liverpool flags, the red and white, towards the left, and a lovely rendition of You'll Never Walk Alone from the Liverpool supporters earlier.
Rick Parry and the rest of the delegation are just making their way down the line of Liverpool players, and now he shakes hands with the Chelsea manager Maurizio Pochettino. Virgil van Dijk has just taken the presentation party down his side of the field as well, so we are almost all ready to go. The band that's been striking up loud is walking away off the pitch at Wembley Stadium, away to the right hand side, and this place is absolutely jam-packed for the latest leg in Jurgen Klopp's farewell tour. It's reached a sold-out Wembley. It has to happen at some point, but Maurizio Pochettino, well, it feels like he's changed the record at Chelsea, but it only feels like that. We will find out over the course of the next few months. Maurizio Pochettino rubbing his hands together, maybe with excitement at the Liverpool lineup, maybe with nerves. It is an absolutely huge day for the Chelsea manager and his team, and so too for Liverpool and Jurgen Klopp. The final of the League Cup here, live on 5 Live, will follow the national anthem. National anthem sung but also signed as well in British Sign Language this afternoon at Wembley Stadium. Incredibly important at any time, but especially this year in the 100th anniversary year of the Deaf Olympics, which get underway next week in Turkey. So we're ready then for the League Cup final on 5 Live with Paul Heckingbottom, Alan Shearer, correspondent John Murray, and first Ian Dennis.
Thank you, Steve. Well, the first domestic trophy of 2024 will be settled, and it is the most played fixture in domestic finals. They've met 4 times previously, 2 in the FA Cup and 2 in the League Cup, 2 wins apiece, but it's the first ever fixture to be played in 5 domestic finals. And if you haven't heard the team news, then this is it. Chelsea are unchanged from the side that played against Manchester City. There is no Thiago Silva. They have Petrovic in goal. Gusto Disassi, who's played in every one of the previous 6 League Cup ties for Chelsea this season. Colwill and Chilwell the captain. Caicedo and Fernandes and Gallagher. Raheem Sterling against his former club. Cole Palmer, who of course has already scored here at Wembley Stadium this season in the Community Shield for Manchester City against Arsenal, and Nicholas Jackson. And for Liverpool, well, all sorts of injury problems. There's no Alisson, of course, although Kelleher would have always started this League Cup tie. And Nunez and Salah not even on the bench, and neither is Szoboszlai. So Kelleher is in goal. Bradley, Konate, Van Dijk and Robertson, Gravenberch, Endo and McAllister, Elliott, Gakpo and Luis Diaz.
And Alan, if we get a similar game to what we had 2 years ago, although it was finished goalless and it went to an epic penalty shootout, it was a great game of football. We'll be in for a treat.
Yeah, I know it's easy to say that is the start of a game, and any game of football is really important. But I think for Chelsea, when the team sheets went in, I think there would have been an extra spring in their step to say, you know what, they have to start this game as if they mean business, as if they're up for it, to try and get their confidence up and a belief that they can go on and win this cup.
And a special moment for Virgil van Dijk, captaining Liverpool in this final. Of course, it's always been Jordan Henderson's honour to do such a thing, but as Virgil van Dijk, leading Liverpool out for the first time in this final, just exchanges the pennant with Ben Chilwell, his Chelsea counterpart, and has a word with the match officials. Of course, there's VAR for the final. There was no VAR previously in this League Cup competition. It wasn't used because of fairness and consistency in the semi-finals at the Riverside, Craven Cottage, Stamford Bridge, or indeed at Anfield. So Chris Kavanagh is the match official, Tim Robinson is the fourth official, and John Brooks is on VAR duty. And now the two sides are just forming their huddles. Chelsea in their royal blue shirts and shorts and white socks, away towards our right. Liverpool all in red, and some atmosphere, Paul Heckingbottom.
Yeah, fantastic atmosphere. Say the first cup final of the season, important to both teams for certainly different reasons. But the fans have come here, they've filled the stadium out, and both sets of supporters making a lot of noise.
Liverpool's last three League Cup finals have all been settled by a shootout. Cardiff in 2012. Also they lost to Manchester City in 2016 and then beat Chelsea 2 years ago. Will we go the whole hog? If they do, then that inexperienced bench for Liverpool could certainly be a factor, because in terms of a lack of offensive options, they are limited for Jurgen Klopp, who, let's not forget, for this long goodbye for the former Liverpool manager, still has the chance to win a quadruple. We're underway. Liverpool all in red, playing from left to right as we look. You're listening to BBC Radio 5 Live and also on BBC Sounds, with the second half of Wolves Sheffield United on Sports Extra. And Chilwell already forward, looking for Raheem Sterling, but cut out by Conor Bradley, the Northern Ireland international, who is no stranger to Wembley. Last season, during his loan spell at Bolton, he was part of the Bolton team that beat Plymouth here in the EFL Trophy by 4 goals to 0. I doubt it will be as one-sided as this game here today. A tight encounter is expected.
Well, we mentioned young Conor Bradley before the game, and he had his first little test there, even after 30 seconds, when Raheem Sterling made that run just down the Chelsea left-hand side, but he read it really well and intercepted the ball and won it back for Liverpool.
Liverpool making those two changes from the midweek game against Luton. Konate, who's taken the free kick, coming in for Quansah. Robertson for Gomez at left back. Bradley holding on to his place at right back. Chelsea unchanged. Raheem Sterling, of course, against his former club. His first of his 4 League Cup successes with Manchester City was indeed against Liverpool, as Robertson prods the ball to McAllister, and a triangular passing pattern for Liverpool, and it's out towards that far side, and Robertson makes good ground on that far side, the left, and he's now level with the penalty area. Plays the ball back. Now it's in with Endo, the Japanese international. Every outfield player is indeed in the Chelsea half, away towards our right-hand side. We welcome listeners to the BBC World Service as well. You've been listening to Dalleth and Stewart in the build-up to this League Cup final, the 64th League Cup final and the 51st to be played here at Wembley. And it's 0-0 in these opening minutes as Endo slides it forward, but stopped by Caicedo, and passes the ball back to Levi Colwill. Mentioned before about Conor Bradley's previous experience at Wembley. Levi Colwill, England international, a playoff runner-up with Huddersfield Town, when indeed he scored the own goal against Nottingham Forest. And that was an opportunity to get into the top flight. This is about the first bit of silverware for this 2024 season, and Liverpool looking to try and add to the tally for Jurgen Klopp for the 7 different trophies that he's won during his successful time as Liverpool's manager. Mauricio Pochettino hoping it's a case of third time lucky. Enzo Fernandez tried to sweep an early ball forward, looking for that run of Nicholas Jackson. What they did very well against City last week.
That's certainly not a bad idea there, because Nicholas Jackson was on his way there and he just needed a little bit more height on that ball and he was in, but Virgil van Dijk read it really, really well.
Virgil van Dijk and Konate at the heart of that Liverpool defence. The options on the bench, though, very, very limited when it comes to experience. Probably only Joe Gomez and Tsimikas as the outfield players. You're looking there at a hatful of youngsters. Bobby Clark, James McConnell, Luis Comas, Jayden Danns, Gerald Quansah, and the 16-year-old Trey Bignoni. And as for Chelsea, they have a couple of youngsters on the bench for the first time this season in a Finnish youth international in Taurainen. They also have a BG on the bench as well, Billy G.
Stop it.
I wonder who will win a game here at Wembley today.
Not like you to be funny.
You like that one, didn't you? It's the throw over on that far side for Chelsea, 0-0. Enzo Fernandez back to Gusto. Ball chipped long by Disase, looking for the run of Jackson, headed away by Van Dijk. Endo lets it settle midway through his own half and will win a throw. I mean, Paul, at this stage, there's nothing to separate between the two teams in these opening 4 minutes.
Nothing at all. We knew it would be tight in midfield. That's going to be a really interesting battle, though. The matchup of the 3v3 there. Looking quickly as well, Chelsea's fullbacks could be big when they win the ball back with how narrow Liverpool's front three get when they're attacking.
0-0 in the early stages from the Liverpool throw. Disasse's forward ball. Fernandez will play it back. Colwill midway through his own half will go all the way back to Jurgen Petrovic. Only his 17th appearance. Colwill does well to come in between two Liverpool players. But then there was a high press from Liverpool. Colwill snapped into the challenge and caught McAllister and will give away a free kick. Referee Chris Kavanagh gives that. Couldn't let the play continue, but gives the free kick to Liverpool.
I think he'd be really lucky if he gets away with not getting a yellow card there, you know. He lost the ball and McAllister had read it really well and he lunged at him. I think McAllister is going to be okay. He comes through the back of him and actually takes him out. Any other time of the game, if that's not the first 5 minutes, that gets a yellow card.
Yeah. Must have been a degree of concern as well on the Liverpool bench, given that the injury problems that have mounted up in recent weeks. There'll be Jurgen Klopp will be relieved to see McAllister get back to his feet, and in fact he's the man standing over this free kick on this near side the right. Liverpool playing from left to right, about 10 yards in from the right touchline. Robertson is also there if he wants to swing it in left-footed, otherwise it'll be McAllister right-footed. They're attacking the west end of Wembley Stadium where the Chelsea fans are housed in their royal blue. But it's the Liverpool fans who are making the noise. 0-0, 6 minutes play. Liverpool free kick on the right. It will be McAllister, right-footed. It's an outswinger and headed away. And surely Jackson will clear. No, he's been caught in possession by McAllister, who backheels the ball, and Jackson then plays it to Fernandez. But that goes only as far as Robertson on the right-hand side. And Endo checked by Caicedo, and another direct free kick for Liverpool.
Yes, and it's, what is it, another about 20, 25 yards out. It's another opportunity to either have a pop-it goal or certainly put a ball into the middle like they tried to there before, which Chelsea defended very, very well.
A little bit further in field, just over 25 yards out from goal, but it's the two contenders to take this free kick once again. Last time it was McAllister. Robertson offers the option with the left foot here on BBC Radio 5 Live, and Chelsea have every player back in the royal blue shirts and shorts just on the edge of their penalty area. That's got 3 in the wall. Petrovic, all in yellow, has got 3 in the wall. In Palmer, Jackson and Sterling. McAllister or Robertson. It's McAllister again who curls it in, rides up. Konate will retrieve it on that far side, but the referee said there was a handball in there, and that will be a free kick. There was no variation in the end.
No, it was 2 free kicks, very, very similar, weren't they, from McAllister. Just tried to whip both balls in, but Chelsea handled them both really well.
Ball given away by Petrovic, straight to Elliott. Ball in field, there was Caicedo to break it up, now towards Gallagher. Early ball from Gallagher, asking Sterling to give chase. Konate with a back pass to Kelleher, all in green, out of his penalty area right-hand side, clears long, headed back by Chilwell on the halfway line, repelled by the header of Endo. Bradley's early ball finds Elliott, but Fernandes just got a foot into the challenge to take it away from Harvey Elliott.
I think that's certainly one of the things that Chelsea will be looking to do on the turnover when they win the ball, with the pace that they've got with Sterling and Jackson, and with Gallagher as well reading it well. You could see straight away that one of their ideas was to get it over the top and try and use that and utilise that pace.
Jurgen Klopp's just called McAllister across towards him, just giving him some instructions as Bradley looks to take the throw. Luis Diaz comes into an area on this right-hand side. Elliott now will switch play out towards that far side, the left. Robertson running forward, sends over the cross. Diaz with the header, it's looping, and it required Petrovic just to bring it out of the air with his right hand.
Yeah, it was a good ball in from Robertson, and Diaz read it really well, but it just had a little bit too much height on it, and he couldn't get the power that was needed to guide it. He sort of had to loop it in the air, which then gave the goalkeeper time to set himself and go and collect it.
Certainly been a good 5 minutes for Liverpool, who are just starting to see a lot of the ball here in these early stages of this League Cup final on BBC Radio 5 Live. 9 minutes played, Bradley over the halfway line, just passes the ball back to Konate. It's a competition that, when you look back at Jurgen Klopp's legacy, he really has blooded a number of youngsters. I remember doing a commentary for 5 Live in 2019. Kelleher made his debut at MK Dons. Indeed, Elliott made his debut in that particular game as well. And he's used 96 different players during his time as Liverpool manager in this competition for what will be his final time in the League Cup. And he's hoping to win it for a second time, to move alongside Gerard Houllier and Bob Paisley, of course, won it 3 times during that successful period for Liverpool in the 80s. But he's blooded a number of youngsters. Conor Bradley, of course, is another one in more recent years, as the ball is played out towards that left-hand side, and ball put out of play by Caicedo for a Liverpool throw.
He's got to do that. I've just been watching him in the first 8 or 9 minutes, Caicedo, and that's part of his job, just to give that back four of his that little bit of shield, that little bit of protection, and on that occasion did it really well, read it well, cleared the danger.
10 minutes played, it remains 0-0. What are your initial thoughts then of the first 10 minutes, Paul?
The big difference for me has been Liverpool have been much more aggressive without the ball, and it's resulted in most of the game being played in Chelsea's half. At the minute they're dropping on all these types of balls really quickly, being much more aggressive and taking more risks.
Former Sheffield United manager Paul Heckingbottom, Alan Shearer with us as well here on 5 Live. Endo does well, up against the ball towards Luis Diaz. Disasino uses his strength, brings it under control, lays it out towards the left. Chilwell closed down quickly by Bradley, the right back, loops up in the air, header from Luis Diaz, says he was pushed from behind. Referee Chris Kavanagh's having none of that. Gravenberch brings it under control. Caicedo throws himself into the challenge. Jackson then gets it out towards Palmer. Gusto's going on the overlap far side the right. Palmer now midway through the Liverpool half, running to the edge of the area. Palmer still going, tries to pass it into the path of Jackson, and an outstretched foot from Van Dijk clears it. Back out towards Gusto, closed down. Chelsea get a corner kick. Alan.
Really good play from Cole Palmer, that was. He had the option to hit it right to Gusto, who was up there supporting, but he was driving forward, and he must have drove forward about 30 or 40 yards before he tried to pick the pass, but Liverpool read it well in the 18-yard box.
Chelsea, remember, have lost each of their last 5 domestic finals. To lose here today would be an unwanted piece of history. No side has ever lost 6 successive in English football. But they're playing from right to left. They have a corner far side to right, 0-0. It's going to be an in-swinger from that far side. Liverpool have everybody back. In it comes now. Kelleher punches the ball away. Gallagher left corner of the area, and then challenged, and Chelsea get a free kick for a foul from Luis Diaz.
Yeah, it was good goalkeeping from Kelleher. He got the opportunity to come and either take it or get 2 fists on it and punch it away as he did. But Liverpool give away the free kick in a dangerous area this time for Chelsea. Very similar to position that Liverpool were in 3 or 4 minutes ago at the other end. See if they can do a little bit better.
Now it's the Chelsea fans who find their voices and raise the volume inside Wembley Stadium with 12 minutes played. Free kick level with the penalty area. 3-4 yards in from the touchline on this near side the left as they play from right to left. And Liverpool have every red shirt back inside their own penalty area. So it's Gallagher and it's Chilwell who stand over this. Chilwell would be the outswinger off his left boot. It's Gallagher though who will leave it for Chilwell. In it comes now. Disassi was up, out it comes, fired back in from Gusto, and a comfortable save from Kelleher through a crowd of bodies.
More of a floated ball in from Chilwell, wasn't it, rather than with pace whipped on it.
Bradley getting forward. Bradley's benefited here from a touch, and he's played the ball out to Luis Diaz. It's a diagonal ball, left side of the penalty area. Luis Diaz cuts inside, backheels the ball, back towards Luis Diaz. Luis Diaz looks for a shooting opportunity, gets the shot away, but it was a weak one, only partially cleared by Chelsea, and then Caicedo manages to dispossess Luis Diaz. Conor Bradley is certainly not shy in getting forward. Paul Heckingbottom said that Liverpool are being aggressive, and Bradley's getting forward at every chance as McAllister shoots from distance, and he's patted down by Petrovic.
Yeah, he's had a really, really good start to this game, Conor Bradley. He's the one that has had to defend when he's wanted to, but then he's actually, well, very much like we've seen Trent do, and he's got into the midfield and seen a lot of the ball already, and was really dangerous on that break when he played it out to the left-hand side into Diaz.
Slipped by Disassi, Gravenberch to Diaz, shoots low, beaten out by Petrovic, reacted very, very well. The mistake by Diaz almost was punished, but Petrovic was low down, very, very quick and smartly to his right.
It's a really good save that was, a good effort from Diaz. His eyes opened up when he seen the post. Can he get his shot away? He certainly did that, but the goalkeeper did well, Petrovic. Good save down to his right-hand side.
In the Six Nations, incidentally, France are leading Italy by 7 points to 0. Commentary at the moment is on the BBC Sport website, and then when Wolves Sheffield United finishes, currently that game in the Premier League is on Sports Extra, then that Six Nations match will switch to Sports Extra. But it's that's the situation in the rugby union, and of course the Rugby Union Daily podcast will always be available to reflect on the weekend's action in the Six Nations, as Ireland are still on course for the Grand Slam yesterday, and Scotland will no doubt be boasting for yet another success against England at Murrayfield yesterday evening. Chelsea with Gallagher, centre circle to Chilwell. Chilwell coming forward in the Liverpool half, slows down. Elliott then is in front of him, ball goes back, Fernandes holds off Elliott, still trying to snap away at his heels. Mauricio Pochettino applauds, tries to whip up the Chelsea crowd as well. There's Disassi, ball out to Gusto, did ever so well to control that around waist height. Infield to Palmer, 25 yards out from goal, goes back to Caicedo. Square ball, given the ball back by Enzo Fernandez, and then he just overhits it. But the first real sustained spell we've probably seen from Chelsea in these opening 15 minutes.
Yeah, and that's been the difference up to now, is that what Liverpool have done without the ball have been really aggressive when they haven't had the ball, and Chelsea's passing has had to be absolutely perfect on the once or twice that they've got through Liverpool, because it's been so, as I said, it's been so sharp and good.
The goal kick inside that penalty area for Liverpool is knocked back to Kelleher, and now he hits it long, and Diaz has made the run. Disassi goes with him. Disassi knees it away, gives himself a little bit more room to try and play it down the line to Chilwell. Under pressure again from Bradley, and the referee, Chris Gallagher, has given that free kick. Chilwell on Conor Bradley. That is what, the third, fourth time, Paul, that Bradley's got forward and surged forward on this near side.
Certainly, yeah, they're taking much more risk with the press. You're finding it's Bradley pressing the left back of Chelsea, Chilwell, and he knows he's got the security behind. Konate and Van Dijk are happy to be 1v1, and it just allows Liverpool to commit those bodies and win the ball back high, and that has been the difference.
This free kick is level with the penalty area on the right-hand side. Once more, it's Robertson and McAllister who stand over it. Chelsea have every royal blue shirt back inside their penalty area. Liverpool are playing from left to right. 0-0. 5 Live BBC Sounds in the World Service. Robertson has just taken a rather measured couple of steps back here. McAllister had taken the previous 2 free kicks. There is the variation. There is Robertson's ball in, headed out by Fernandes. Elliott lays it square. Gravenberch on the stretch, cleared by Chelsea. It's a high ball, and all of a sudden it's Bradley who's got to go back with Jackson, and he does well. Under pressure, it was 1 against 1. He had to get that challenge right.
He had to get it right, and he got it absolutely spot on. For the, what have we got, 16, 17 minutes, he's been the outstanding player on the pitch at the minute, Conor Bradley.
It's only his 17th appearance as well for the Northern Ireland international, signed from Dungannon Smiths in 2019. He scored his first goal, of course, against Chelsea in that 4-1 win at Anfield on January the 31st. And he's impressed every time I've seen him play. The ball goes long, but straight through to Petrovic, all in yellow. Underarm throw out to Gusto at right back. Because of Liverpool, they're pressing high up. Gusto is forced to turn and go back towards Petrovic. 17.5 minutes played. And Petrovic will play the ball out towards Disassi. Right side of the penalty area. Hits a flat ball up towards Jackson, over his head, and will run through towards Kelleher.
You've got no chance as a forward with a ball like that when it's coming from 50 or 60 yards away and it's straight. It's up at your head. You've got no chance of controlling it. And Van Dijk read that well and just let it run through to his goalkeeper.
Former England captain Alan Shearer with us here today. 14 times out of your 34 times as a skipper for England was here at Wembley Stadium.
You've done your homework. Very good. I'm impressed.
Of your 30 goals, 18 of them were scored at Wembley too.
I think I learn something every day.
I think you'll find I'll get an A+. Probably for the first time ever when I'm handing in my homework. 0-0.
Jimmy didn't get that at school,
It was, very much so. You read the school report. BBC 5 Live. Liverpool in possession. Gravenberch back to Endo. Back pedals inside his own half. Van Dijk, the Liverpool captain, unchallenged, able to slide that ball forward. Finds Bradley in an inverted role. Bradley doing well. Bradley still coming forward, trying to get the shot away, blocked by Colwill. It'll fall to Raheem Sterling. He passes the ball now towards Gallagher. Elliott's got to try and fill in because of Conor Bradley's presence up front, and then will be a free kick. But he is the standout player, Bradley.
Yeah, there again, when the build-up from the back made a back three with Endo deep, and so Conor Bradley went and played behind Chelsea's midfield in a central position and received it in a really dangerous area.
Certainly been a very enjoyable opening 19 minutes to this game so far, despite the goalless scoreline. Back it goes to Kelleher. His forward ball will find McAllister. Passes it now to Bradley. Elliott on this near side, the right. Back with Konate. McAllister is available in field. First time ball towards Bradley. Colwill, tight behind him, wins the ball. Fernandez pokes it forward. Stepping out of defence was Konate. Ball now with McAllister, just a little bit too far ahead of Gravenberch and allowed Disassi to clear. Caicedo clips it forward. Gallagher is onto this. There's a gap over on that far side. His cross might find Sterling. Sterling's inside the penalty area, as is Palmer, as is Jackson. Block comes in. Chelsea still threatening, and Liverpool head the ball away.
What a save that is from Kelleher. It was a magnificent save. The goal was there. It was open, gaping open, and Kelleher manages to get down to his left-hand side and keeps it out. It's an incredible save.
Well, bearing in mind that he's had very little to do in these opening 20 minutes, his concentration levels are certainly spot on, because when he was first called into action, he was so alert.
So alert, and I think there's a big tackle in there as well here from Bradley, is it? Yeah, big tackle, big moment, great save. And that's what happens when Liverpool have been aggressive. A lot of their good players being from literally playing 1v1 without the ball, but then when Chelsea do get it right, as we've just seen in that moment there, they can create dangerous opportunities.
Very, very good save to keep out Palmer. And the first, well, there was half a chance, I guess, with that looping header from Luis Diaz that was easily saved by Petrovic, but the first real opening falling to Chelsea in this game. 21 minutes played. Bradley tries to switch play. Luis Diaz over on that far side, coming forward now, left corner of the area, enters the box. Luis Diaz down towards the byline. Gusto though slid in, well-timed challenge inside the penalty area, and now it'll be Palmer to clear. Konate slides forward to prevent it from reaching Jackson. Good game.
Just starting to open up now as well, isn't it? That was a brilliant opportunity for Cole Palmer, as I said just before, the great save from Kelleher. But that's the problem for Liverpool, because they're being so brave and committing both full-backs forward. They're leaving space in behind and doing that, and Chelsea exploited it on that occasion.
Chilwell, near side the left, inside the Liverpool half. Back he goes to the halfway line. Enzo Fernandez will hit a ball that is hoisted out towards that right-hand side. Gusto with a cross, blocked by Robertson. Will come back to Gusto on the volley, lifts it forward, headed out by a stooping Endo. And then Disassi, just inside the Liverpool half, will play it forward. Gusto coming forward on that right-hand side. His cross towards Jackson, cut out by Van Dijk. Out of play, it will go for a throw. And Chelsea now are just starting to come back into this game at 0-0. It's been a very, very good watch.
Mauricio's applauding there down on the touchline, just trying to show the appreciation and trying to get his fans up to give his players all the encouragement they need.
Hoping it's third time lucky after losing 2 previous finals as a manager of an English club, both of course at Tottenham where he lost to Chelsea in the League Cup, and he'll need no reminding of what happened in Madrid when he lost with Spurs against Liverpool in the 2019 Champions League final. But we're midway through the first half. We're in the company of Paul Heckingbottom and Alan Shearer, and here's our football correspondent John Murray to take you through to half-time.
Thanks, Ian. Challenged by Fernandes on Gakpo on the halfway line, which Liverpool feel was a foul. It's out of play now for a throw-in down the left-hand side for Chelsea, but Chris Kavanagh, a number of the Liverpool players have gone to him. There's actually another man down on the far side as well for Liverpool. What about the Fernandes challenge?
I thought it was a good challenge.
Gravenberch initially. Oh no, hang on. It's Gravenberch who's on the far side, but the challenge on the halfway line was on.
That one on Gravenberch was from Caicedo, but this one there from that we're just looking at now from Fernandes on Gakpo. I think he actually gets the ball and wasn't a foul.
But it's Gravenberch who came off worst for the initial challenge, which is over on the far side. So the Liverpool medical men have come on to have a look at him. There aren't too many options in terms of experienced players on the bench for Liverpool in the midfield, with Curtis Jones on the injured list at the moment. But some of the youngsters there, Bobby Clark's come on and played in midfield quite effectively. Young James McConnell's on the bench as well, and Gravenberch continues to be inspected on the far side. So it is Chelsea 0, Liverpool 0. 5 Live, BBC Sounds are on the World Service as well. It's still Wolves 1, Sheffield United 0 in the Sports Extra commentary match. And in fact it is over Rob Schofield with you at Molineux.
And that's how it stayed, John. Pablo Sarabia's header from 6 yards out after half an hour, the difference. A little bit better from Chris Wilder's side today, but a 5th defeat in 6 keeps them bottom. Back-to-back wins for Wolves moves them within a point of Brighton in 7th. They've won this one by a goal to 0.
Thank you, Rob. Treatment continues for Gravenberch. Earlier it finished Motherwell 1, Celtic 3, late goals for Celtic in that one. Right now, France-Italy is being won by 10 points to 0 by the French, so that will be on Sports Extra once they've finished with Wolves Sheffield United. And it is Salford 12, Castleford 0, the latest score in the 3 o'clock kickoff in the Super League. Well, the stretcher is now coming on for Gravenberch now.
Because Caicedo actually stands on his left ankle, I think it is there. He goes in for the ball and doesn't get it, but he actually lands on his left ankle when the ball was gone.
So the lengthy Liverpool injury list, and listen, it's the same for Liverpool and Chelsea. They've both had, Chelsea all season have had 8, 9, 10, 11 players on the injured list. And it does look as though a change is going to have to be made. It looks like Joe Gomez is going to come on. So that's going to be a bit of a rejig. And frankly, Conor Bradley has played most of the match in midfield anyway. He's been so advanced. So that's it. Well, that's unfortunate, isn't it, for Gravenberch? His first big match like this for Liverpool, 25 minutes played. And that challenge from Caicedo. And yep, Joe Gomez is being ready to come onto the field and receiving his instructions from Pep Lijnders, as Jurgen Klopp certainly making his point to the 4th official on the side of the pitch, and it's quite clear, I think, what Jurgen Klopp is saying to Tim Robinson.
Yeah, absolutely, and he has a point, because it was a late challenge and he did land on him.
So that's it, he's on the stretcher now, Ryan Gravenberch. And there is applause, certainly from the Liverpool fans. Many of the Chelsea fans down in front of us as well are applauding too. And Liverpool are going to have to make this change, so yet another player joins the injury list. If you've just switched on and haven't heard and are wondering, there is no Salah, Nunez or Szoboszlai. They will not be involved in this cup final. Liverpool not taking risks. And Jurgen Klopp is now standing on the side of the pitch and he's gesturing towards Chris Kavanagh, the referee. They've obviously seen that on the screens on the side of the pitch, the challenge on Gravenberch from Caicedo. And Jurgen Klopp is not happy.
And he's telling him exactly what he thinks of it. He's angry. And I can certainly see why, because it was a bit of a naughty challenge. It was late. He did stand on him. And he's now coming off on a stretcher now, Gravenberch.
So Joe Gomez is on. I felt for him actually, because he's played so well, hasn't he, this season. He's come back to his best form. He's played at left back when Robertson was out. And it does look as though he's going to go to right back here with Bradley further forward.
Yeah, that's what they're going to do. I think he's gone into that position there, and absolutely right. Bradley will just push that little bit further forward. He's actually been playing most of the game there anyway.
Yeah, he is. He's been excellent coming forward, Bradley. Funnily enough, I spoke to Michael O'Neill, the Northern Ireland manager, when he was at the Nations League draw a couple of weeks ago, and he's already, Bradley played 13 times for Northern Ireland, and he did say to me there, he said, it depends how brave I feel, whether I'm going to playing in midfield for Northern Ireland. I don't think you need to be brave, do you?
He's already shown us enough that he's got an incredible future ahead of him.
Certainly has. Alan Shearer with us here in the 5 Live commentary box. Chelsea, though, coming forward after Liverpool have had to make the change, but that pass forward is overhit from centre field by Fernandes, and it just runs through to Kelleher, who made an excellent save, it must be said. But that's the big chance of the match so far, when actually Sterling, Palmer and Jackson all had opportunities, but the save from the second effort from Palmer was outstanding from 5 or 6 yards. So certainly Kelleher will feel good about himself after that. It is still Chelsea 0, Liverpool 0, so still waiting for a goal in this run of Chelsea-Liverpool Cup finals. 2 years ago, both of them 0-0 after extra time. And despite the really nice flow to this match so far, a little bit like the League Cup final of 2 years ago, still waiting for the opening goal today as well in 2024. Here's Ben Chilwell, the Chelsea captain. I'm sure Reece James will be watching this, the permanent Chelsea captain as it was. He's on the Chelsea injured list, so Ben Chilwell with the armband, and he wins a throw-in down the left-hand side as Chelsea play towards the half of Wembley Stadium where all of the Liverpool fans are, very clearly bedecked in red on this cold, overcast February afternoon. There was frost on the ground in North London this afternoon, this morning. Chelsea with Fernandes in the centre circle, little ball to Palmer, but Palmer's pass. He was looking for the run of Jackson, but it was straight into the path of Van Dijk, who could just glide across, take possession, and Liverpool have it back inside their own half with almost half an hour played. So Gomez now on as right back, and Bradley permanently into midfield as the ball is played forward. And there's a foul, late challenge on Endo, free kick to Liverpool near the centre circle. In actual fact, Bradley is so far forward, it's Elliott who's further back in the midfield. Paul Heckingbottom is with us in the box as well, Paul, on that sort of technical approach now from Liverpool.
Yeah, it is. That's the change. Harvey Elliott's gone from playing wide right, if you like, to playing as one of the midfield three, and Connor playing wide right. But I've already seen Enzo run off Harvey Elliott a couple of times when Chelsea get the ball. Here we are again, and Harvey's got to really focus on his defensive duties now playing a deeper role. There's more responsibility on him.
Yeah, so quite a switch for Liverpool. If you remember the final of 2 years ago, Harvey Elliott wasn't due to be involved. Thiago picked up an injury in the warm-up, and he ended up taking one of the penalties. Chelsea coming forward, deep cross from the right-hand side, but that's right down the throat from Palmer, caught by Kelleher. An easy catch, and Liverpool can start and bring it out from the back again, which is what they do. Pass forward to McAllister, who hits a long ball over the top through the middle, but that will just run all the way through to the goalkeeper at the other end, Petrovic, who actually made a very good save himself from Diaz in the early stages. And he passes it out to Chilwell, who's claiming he was fouled by Bradley, and the referee does agree with him, and it's a free kick to Liverpool halfway inside their own half, but not much in it.
No, I think if I was a Liverpool player now, I'd just be trying to keep hold of that ball for a minute or two, just to try and calm themselves down a little bit. They had it then, but they looked for the direct ball and hit it over the top and give it straight back to Chelsea, where they've been under a little bit of pressure, so it might just be wise to keep hold of it if they can get it.
Chelsea playing the ball forward, Palmer to Jackson, who might have been in an offside position. Jackson takes it on, Sterling's in the middle and scores, but no, that offside flag does come. And Sterling's celebrations in front of the Liverpool fans, his old club, have to be cut short, and it is a free kick to Liverpool, and I'm pretty sure he was offside.
Yeah, well, it was Jackson. I thought that was offside rather than Sterling when the ball came in, and it was one of those where the assistant chooses not to flag and has to do it later on, but it was Jackson in the first one that I thought was just off. It was a tight one, and Liverpool try and hold the line as they do, and I think they get it just right, although it is really tight.
As ever, it's one of those ones when you do see it. Jackson did appear to be beyond, I think it was Canate, as it was played. This could yet be tight.
It's really tight, John.
Could yet be onside, Jackson. This could yet be a Sterling goal. This is a, I know that people don't like it when the assistants allow play to continue before they actually flag. But what is confusing here, I presume that VAR will have a view right along the line, but what we're seeing is not actually along the line.
We're not seeing the straight line, are we?
No,
and it's definitely Canate that tries to play him offside. I mean, it's a really, really good run from Jackson, and another good pass that finds him. It's just a matter of whether... Oh, looking at it, we can't make it out because we haven't got a great angle to see it from.
They do look almost side by side, Canate and Jackson. Now the players, a bit like us, the players appear to also think that Jackson was offside. They've set up for Liverpool to take the free kick, but the length. Oh, and here's the decision, and play continues. The goal is ruled out. That was very, very tight, and that is exactly what Chelsea have been looking for, as they did last week in the league match at Manchester City. Here's Bradley on the right-hand side, does well to keep the ball in play up against Chilwell, plays it back to Gomez, just into the match. Gomez then forward to Bradley. It's very congested there. Chilwell puts in the challenge, and it bounces out of play for what he's given as a throw-in to Chelsea. So the goal ruled out, but that's a warning for Liverpool.
Absolutely, that's what they're trying to do. They're just trying to isolate that width. I mean, Liverpool have done it for a long time now and played that high line, but very, very nearly got caught out there.
So throw-in for Chelsea. Mauricio Pochettino hoping here finally to win his first trophy as a manager in England. Absolutely rightly, he pointed out the fact that he won trophies in his season and a half at Paris Saint-Germain, but not able to do it yet. Southampton, Tottenham. But this is the first opportunity with Chelsea, and wouldn't it be just like football if after all of that and the troubles that he's had, the difficulties in these first 8 months as the Chelsea manager and everything that he's had to deal with, if he stands up and goes, there you are, there's your first trophy under the new regime post Abramovich. Liverpool playing it on the halfway line. Here's Elliott, but he took a heavy touch, however, as the challenge came in from Fernandes. It bounced back to him, and Elliott's able to get it back as well through the middle from Bradley. Now it's Gakpo on the edge of the penalty area. Chelsea shirts flooding back and are able to get behind the ball, although Endo is able to take the ball away from Gallagher and give it out to the left-hand side to Robertson. And now back to McAllister, 25 yards out, lifts a high ball out with the angle into the penalty area, headed back by Bradley, but not into the path of Elliott. And in fact, it was controlled and cleared away by Fernandes on the volley inside the area. And Chelsea with Fernandes. Just a nice economical pass from him out to Cole Palmer on the right-hand side. The man who scored for Manchester City in 2 big occasions before he moved to Chelsea this season. Here at Wembley in the Community Shield, and also in Greece in the Super Cup final. And Chilwell now on the right is content to win the throw-in of both Bradley and Gomez together. So throw-in 2 or 3 yards away from the corner flag. Next to where quite a number of substitutes are warming up. 10 minutes to go to half-time. 5 live from the BBC. The World Service, BBC Sounds as well. As Chelsea take the throw, breaks down on the edge of the penalty area, and McAllister almost presented it to Chelsea on the edge of the box. But in fact, Robertson hits a long pass downfield for Diaz to chase. Well defended by Gusto, and he just very cleverly just sweeps the ball away from Diaz as well and says, how do you like that?
Brilliant defending, Gusto. If he hadn't have made that decision and won that ball, then they were in real trouble, because Diaz was away then.
He was. Excellent work from young Gusto, who, shouldn't forget, he's only 20 years old, the Chelsea right back, and deputising for the injured Reece James. So Chelsea, here is Fernandes with the seeming almost extra short-sleeved shirt. Fernandes to Chilwell, who stabs it down the line to Sterling, who had the ball in the net, but that was ruled out. Then the ball is played towards the byline. Gallagher's ball into the middle and arriving. Palmer sliding in, but there was a defender there as well, and the ball just ran through to Kelleher in the 6-yard box.
Really good play from Chelsea, from Sterling, from Gallagher, and then from Palmer running in there. Sterling got the ball out wide on the left-hand side, and Gallagher makes the run in behind, and he's waiting for the ball, and Sterling didn't disappoint with that ball, and Gallagher pulls it back, and Palmer just couldn't get the connection that he wanted to put it in the back of the net.
Yeah, well defended, Robertson. But I think there's no question, having seen them last Saturday, Alan, at the Etihad Stadium, for all season we've said Mauricio Pochettino, what's his best team? He's not been able to put his best team on the field. I think there are definitely signs now that he is very close to knowing currently what his best team is, and this is it.
Yeah, and they're certainly grown into the game, and for the last 10 or 15 minutes, they're the team that has been pushing forward and looking comfortable.
Colwell had to get to that, but he did. Bradley was surging through again. So there's a little low five from Ben Chilwell. Bradley just getting back to his feet, but it was well defended by Colwell. So no Thiago Silva for Chelsea today. If you didn't hear that news earlier, he's still on the injured list. And I'm not surprised there was Liverpool absentee. It's 2 weeks before Liverpool will play Manchester City. So I think we can understand, even though this is a cup final, why Liverpool would not be taking any chances at all. And of course, Salah's already really had one comeback when he came on as a substitute for the injured Jota against Brentford. And now he's ended up missing more matches. Nice from Liverpool, Elliott, but then Gomez overhits the pass for Bradley. Not even Super Bradley could catch that, and it's out of play for a throw into Chelsea.
No, it wasn't the best of ball for him to chase, no, so he just gave up on it wisely. Why waste energy?
Yeah, so a throw in which will be taken by Levi Colwill, who I think, interestingly, ahead of everything that's coming up with England this summer in the absence of Thiago Silva, is getting an opportunity in central defence. Not one of England's strongest areas. One presumes that Gareth Southgate will be here. He usually is for these occasions. As Chilwell takes the throw up the line, it bounces forward for Jackson, who goes down rather easily but wins the free kick in any case from Konate. And what have we got? 5 minutes to go to half-time.
That's exactly what Jackson wanted. That he was waiting for someone to come in and clatter him and then get the foul, because there was nowhere for him to go. It was a silly foul, really.
Yeah, let's bring in Paul Heckingbottom again. Where do you think we are right now, Paul, in this match?
I think certainly the game's changed since the injury. And Liverpool have had to, I know it's one substitution, but they've had to actually make 3 tactical changes.
It's been given away by Disassi on the edge of his penalty area. Robertson with a cross, and it comes, and the header hits the post from Gakpo, and it bounces out, and Chelsea are able to clear. Well done, Gakpo. That wasn't easy. He was backing away, and he had to sort of cushion it, direct it, which he did, but it hit the post and came out.
Oh, he's just having to walk away from goal, you know, and if he's walking onto it rather than walk away from goal, then it would have been easier for him to guide it into just inside the post instead of hitting the post. It was a really, really good header, good cross in, and really unlucky that it actually came out rather than go in the net.
Yeah, it would have been a lovely headed finish actually, but Chelsea Palmer plays one over the top for Sterling, a touch from him, but crucially Gomez was able to get back in and volleyed it away as the ball bounced up, and then it was headed back to Kelleher, who cleared it away. Well, certainly half chance.
Yeah, it was a half chance. Yeah, luckily his pace got him out of it, Gomez, because he got the wrong side of Raheem Sterling.
And then Gakpo through the middle for Liverpool, really opening out in the last 5 minutes of the first half. It does feel as though we're finally getting closer to a goal in these Chelsea-Liverpool Cup finals, as Jackson takes it on down the left, but Konate recovers extremely well and is able to turn that out for a throw down the left. Yeah, getting closer. That a header against the post now.
How's this still 0-0?
And it's nothing like, I mean, it's only a month ago that they played each other in the league at Anfield, and I mean, Liverpool virtually wiped the floor with Chelsea that day. One of Liverpool's best performances of the season. Darwin Núñez, how he didn't score in that match, still I cannot work out. Not involved today at all, but this is much more, as I think was generally expected, much more of an even contest given the personnel who are involved. Here is Jackson in the Liverpool right back area. Sterling gives it to Conor Gallagher, and then back towards Colwell on the halfway line, who gives it to his partner Axel Disassi, who's hardly missed a match this season. Disassi, the number 2, started all but 2 matches. And then Gusto has blotted his copybook on the far side after a pass to him from 15 yards, miscontrols it out of play for a throw-in to Liverpool with 3 minutes of the first 45 to play. On Sports Extra now, France in control against Italy. It was 10-0 last we heard, but you can hear that right now, every Six Nations match on 5 Live or Sports Extra, as Liverpool played forward through the middle, but Konate is annoyed with himself, passed it straight to Gusto, and then Palmer battling centrally with McAllister, and then Fernandes loses it, so Liverpool have got it back, and here's Andy Robertson. Robertson looks to his left, here's Diaz now. Diaz approaching the penalty area, right-footed ball across, Gakpo with a touch. Robertson knew he had to let that go because he'd been in an offside position, so actually hopped over it, and Chelsea have got it back. Liverpool looking sharp when they get into those positions, but they've not been able to get into those positions anything like as much as they did in that match at Anfield last month. Here is Diaz though, again on the left-hand side. Diaz with now 10 goals this season. 5 players have reached double figures already for Liverpool this season. This is the team that's already scored 100 goals in all competitions. Van Dijk, long and forward, looking for Bradley, but it's headed away by Chilwell. Centre circle, a header from Jackson, and Gomez is going to allow it to roll out of play for a throw-in on the halfway line as half-time approaches. Alan Shearer.
Yeah, I think it's been really even, and both sides will have the argument to say that they should be in front with the Cole Palmer chance and the brilliant save from Kelleher, and then the header there that we've just seen hit the post. So both teams have had their 5 or 10 minute spells where they've been on top or they've had to defend.
Yeah, it was brought forward to a 3 o'clock kick-off this match, but the way it is and the history between these sides, as Jackson is caught there by McAllister, as Caicedo is caught by McAllister, and it's a free kick to Chelsea halfway inside their own half. There's every chance that there might be late trains tonight for those going back to the north of England, and I know as well it was feared there might be difficulties for people getting into Wembley today because the tickets were all digital, and I know some people did have problems, but it appears that everyone who needs to be is inside now as Chelsea come forward towards the edge of the penalty area. Played away though by Elliott. And here is Diaz again, takes on Fernandes, goes past him, well played. Now he's got space, down the left-hand side, he's up against Disassi, into the box, then angles it. Elliott tries to pull it across, bounces back to Diaz, square from him, Bradley with a chance, that's blocked on the edge of the 6-yard box, 2 defenders, and Chelsea survive, almost opened up by Liverpool. Gomez now plays it in from deep, that's over the head of Disassi, brought down by Diaz. Diaz up against Gusto, stabs it into the box, but cleared away by Disassi.
Brilliant play from Virgil van Dijk to set Liverpool on the way then with a really well-timed tackle on the edge of his box, and they go straight up to the other end, and 2 or 3 players had the opportunity to shoot, but all of them passed it up, and it ended up with Bradley having the shot.
So it remains Chelsea 0, Liverpool 0. But again, another moment there where you thought, here it is, here it's coming. But no, and just waiting to see what Tim Robinson is going to put up. Well, it's got a 0 and a 6 on it, so I presume that means 6 minutes of added time. Those on the other side of the stadium might have been thinking, 60? Here is Van Dijk. That would be a turn-up. As McAllister plays it through. Now the shot from the edge of the D by Diaz. Bounces away towards the halfway line. Gomez is able to take up possession for Liverpool again. Bradley plays it infield to Gomez. Gomez works it back. Chilwell, just a little trip for Chilwell. He was looking for that because he was running across the edge of his own penalty area, but he got it. So it's a free kick to Chelsea.
Took the words out of my mouth, John. You knew exactly what he was looking for.
Yep, so Chelsea 0, Liverpool 0. Carabao Cup final on 5 Live. We've got some huge commentaries coming over the course of the next few weeks, not least that match in a fortnight, Liverpool against Manchester City, 5 Live for that, and the World Service. We've got Manchester City Arsenal as well later next month. This time next week, the Manchester Derby, as well as all of the Champions League and Premier League. Liverpool coming forward again, ball on the left-hand side, as Diaz turns, gives it back, and square pass from Endo, who just turns and gives it back to Diaz over on the left-hand side. But Chelsea have got everyone back now on the edge of their own penalty area. So Liverpool go all the way back to that man Van Dijk who started that last attack. A long crossfield pass from him, looking for Bradley, who's beaten in the air by Chilwell. And then Gomez steers it to Bradley, but Chilwell is as tight as can be, and the two of them are still tangling, even though the ball's off the pitch. Chilwell gets up, shirts are being grabbed. Young Elliott has got involved as well. Now Gomez as well. They're holding Chilwell back. Bradley's being steered away from all of this by Elliott, who's turned the peacemaker, Harvey Elliott, having actually conflagrated the whole situation. And now let's see what Chris Kavanagh makes of that, Alan.
My guess is that Chilwell will get a yellow and maybe Bradley will get a yellow.
Yes, I suspect. Well, certainly a yellow card for the Chelsea captain, who puts his palms apart, as if to say, what did I do? And Bradley as well. You are spot on, Alan. Been in that situation before, I think, yourself, if I remember rightly.
Me? Never.
Yes. Just that halo.
If someone shoved me first, that was all.
Yeah. So it's a throw-in it's a free kick to Chelsea. But, you know, from a neutral point of view, that adds to what we've got here today, and that actually underlines what this contest is that we're watching.
Yeah, absolutely. I know it's neither team have managed to put the ball in the net, but it's been a really entertaining game. It's been end-to-end, as I said earlier. Both teams have had their moments, and they will both feel as if they should be leading this game.
Yeah, Liverpool have had to cope with the loss of Gravenberch to that injury, which Jurgen Klopp was not happy about. The challenge from Caicedo, as Gusto plays it over the top, still playing in added time at the end of this first half, as Van Dijk heads it out of play for a throw into Chelsea, 15 yards inside the Liverpool half. So Jurgen Klopp just stalks to the edge of his coaching area, winner of 7 different trophies, if you include the Community Shield, which I have to say I do. For why wouldn't you? It appears on the team photograph, doesn't it, the season that you win it? It's got a good history. As Liverpool, Bradley wins the ball back, middle of the Chelsea half, Gakpo, but in steps Fernandes, and now Chilwell passes it forward to Jackson. Van Dijk has gone with him, and it is Van Dijk who turns as the ball bounces off the Chelsea forward and plays it back to Kelleher, who tries to flick it on through the middle. McAllister plays it out towards the left-hand side. 3 of those 7 trophies for Jurgen Klopp have been won against Chelsea. All of them in penalty shootouts, all 3. Here's Elliott, back into Gomez. Square from him to McAllister, who turns it out towards the left-hand side. Yeah, I know it's early, but as you can tell, I'm not discounting penalties. Endo now, Endo. A little pass from Diaz, back to Konate, the long-legged Konate. Just gives it to Van Dijk to his left in the turquoise boots. Then back to Konate. Here's Elliott, now on the right-hand side, having started in the further forward position. He turns, gives it up to Bradley. Bradley now on the right, low cross from him, headed down and only partly away by Gallagher. Elliott then finds Endo, now to the edge of the box, as McAllister tried to turn it into the path of Gakpo, but just got too much on it, and it was through to the goalkeeper.
I don't think he actually read it. I don't think Gakpo knew what he was wanting to do. I think we could all see that he just wanted to flick that ball around the corner there on the edge of the box, but Gakpo was a bit slow to react.
Petrovic strikes it downfield, but controlled by Robertson, and Robertson sets off on an attack now in the last moment, the final minute, 6th minute at the end of the first half. Lots of empty red seats appearing around Wembley Stadium as people head to the, well, not the cheapest of catering outlets inside Wembley Stadium. A friend was telling me yesterday that he got some pick and mix from one of the stalls, and it cost him £17. Free kick on the halfway line for Liverpool as the ball's played back to Van Dijk, who will give it to Konate. So I think here we are, last knockings. Both teams have come close in this first 45 minutes plus, as Konate is still time for one more little foul by Jackson this time, and I think that will be it. Although we do play on, and here is Diaz. Diaz down the left, Chelsea packing their own penalty area. Diaz has to drag it back, give it over there to the left-hand side where it's swirled into Bradley. Bradley takes it down, works it across, cleared away by Colwell on the edge of the box, and there it is. That was the final attack of what is a goalless first half, and both Jurgen Klopp, I think, actually hurdled the advertising hoardings. Mauricio Pochettino ran round them, and they run down the tunnel shoulder to shoulder, ready to talk to their teams when they come into the dressing room. So chances, Gakpo heading against the post. Petrovic has made certainly one good save from Diaz at the other end. Kelleher keeping out Palmer. Other chances as well, very close offside against Nicholas Jackson, which ruled out a Chelsea goal. But it is just like the 2022 League Cup final, just like the 2022 FA Cup final, the 2024 Carabao Cup final at half-time. Alan Shearer, 0-0.
Yeah, very much how much we expected. I didn't think there was going to be a lot of goals in it. It's been really tight. Having said that, there has been really good opportunities for both sides. Cole Palmer with that close range effort that really should have been in in the back of the net, but from a magnificent save from Kelleher. And then from Gakpo, Liverpool's best chance with a header. When he's coming away from goal, he just couldn't guide it into the net and hits the post and then comes back out. So both teams had really good opportunities.
And Paul Heckingbottom, your reflections on the first half?
Yeah, pretty even. As Alan said, both teams had good moments. It looks like in the final 5 minutes of the half, Liverpool had come to terms with the little change. Because as I say, it caused a lot of disruption because they were on top before the injury. Conor Bradley was doing well at right back, drifting into midfield. Harvey Elliott was effective in the press, and I thought Liverpool were on top with the midfield three, but then with that one substitution, it actually meant that three people had to change positions, and I felt that it took Liverpool 10-15 minutes to get to grips with that.
Lovely, thank you very much, Paul. So more from Paul Heckingbottom and Alan Shearer in the second half. But at the break, Chelsea 0, Liverpool 0. And Steve Crossman is here with us in the 5 Live commentary box. Steve.
Thank you, John. Alan, bite, desire, chances, challenges. It did look like the fourth official had signalled 60 minutes added time. I'd have probably watched it.
Thought John had been eating too much of his pick and mix that his mate had bought for 17 quid. But yeah, it's been everything we thought it was going to be, end to end, crunching tackles, players getting upset, chances, tight in the midfield. More of the same in the second half, we hope.
Thank you, Alan. Paul Heckingbottom. So, the Cole Palmer chance, I mean, look, he's got to put it away, but what a save that is from Quiveen Kelleher.
Huge save, huge save. You can see, even though it's been a really competitive, even game, the goalkeepers have not had much to do in terms of saves. That was a big, big moment, his first moment in the game. We were talking about him before the game, people talk about his calmness, but that concentration, the level of concentration he's had to play with there to then, the first moment he's called upon to make a save like that, could potentially be a match-winning save, was absolutely critical.
That's what Pep Lijnders said, wasn't it, before the game? Quiveen Kelleher, his calmness and match-winning saves. As you say, we'll wait and see what happens in the second half, but that could well contribute.
Yes, definitely. As I say, to win a cup final, go through all the rounds, knockout football, every single player must play the part. But it's moments like that in the biggest of games, on the biggest of stages, which is a cup final, which can get talked about.
I'm starting to wonder whether there will ever be a goal, Paul, in a cup final between Liverpool and Chelsea. I mean, we've had 2 0-0s all the way to penalties. We've had a post struck. We've had a string of good chances. It's a brilliant game, though.
It is a good game. It is a good game, and I really hope that both teams, and I think they will, I think both teams will approach the second half the same. You can sometimes see that there's a fear of not wanting to lose the game can creep in. I don't think that'll be the case here. I think both teams will go for it. Both teams want to win it in 90 minutes. Chelsea from the bench, Liverpool from the bench, not what they would normally want to see. But I don't think that'll mean that the managers are going to hold back in any way with their instructions at half-time or the decisions that they make during the second half.
Paul, thank you very much for the time being. Paul Heckingbottom, Alan Shearer, John Murray, Ian Dennis, your commentary team here inside Wembley Stadium. What a cracking first half of a cup final that was. And I've got absolutely no idea how we haven't had a goal. Liverpool 0, Chelsea 0 again, but at least 45 minutes still to change that. Already today in the Premier League, Wolves beat Sheffield United by a goal to 0. Sheffield United bottom of the table, and they are now 8 points from safety, 8 behind Everton, who are in 17th place. In Scotland, Celtic were behind to Motherwell, came back and won by 3 goals to 1. They're now 2 points behind Rangers at the top of the table. We're going to hear from Brendan Rodgers during half-time here at Wembley. I'll get reaction from Molineux as well. Super League, there is live action going on right now. Salford Red Devils 18, Castleford Tigers 10. On Sports Extra at the moment, you can listen to commentary of France against Italy from the Six Nations. It's half-time. Claire Thomas. Come in, Claire, can you hear us? There you go, Claire. Half-time, yes? I was struggling to hear from Claire
Thomas. Lille and Les Bleus are leading by 10 points to 3 against an Italian outfit who've never beaten them in France. The hosts started the brightest with 7 points in 7 minutes. As skipper Charles Oliver barrelled over and Thomas Ramos converted. He then stuck another 3 on with a penalty before France camped out on Italy's try line for a full half hour, but wasteful as anything. And they're losing their fly half, Mathieu Jalabert, to injury. With the clock in the red, they also had Jonathan Danty sent off. He's in the bunker at the moment. They're reviewing that card decision, and Italy managed to stick 3 points on the scoreboard to bring up a half-time score of 10 points to 3.
You're going to hear from an unlikely trio in the next few minutes. Gary O'Neill, Brendan Rodgers and Lewis Hamilton. All of them after the news with Stuart Clarkson.
Listen on BBC Sounds. This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
The Deputy Prime Minister Oliver Dowden has defended the way the Conservative Party handled the suspension of one of its own MPs. The party took action against Lee Anderson yesterday when he wouldn't apologise for suggesting the Mayor of London, Sadiq Khan, was controlled by Islamists. The Muslim Council of Britain is calling for an investigation into what it's called structural Islamophobia within the Conservative Party. The President of Ukraine, Volodymyr Zelensky, has told the West his country's victory in the war with Russia depends on you. Senior Ukrainian officials have gathered in Kyiv to mark the second anniversary of Russia's full-scale invasion. And in the past hour, Mr. Zelensky has said 31,000 Ukrainian soldiers have been killed in the war. Police are searching for a teenage boy thought to have got into difficulty at a lake in Staffordshire. Two other boys, believed to be 17-year-olds, managed to get out of the water at Rudyard Lake near Leek last night. And the US Republican presidential hopeful Nikki Haley says she'll continue her campaign despite being beaten by Donald Trump in the South Carolina primary. The former president won by a 20-point margin.
I thought my life was over. That's where the real story begins.
On BBC iPlayer, 3 British men who were charged with drug offences in Dubai say they were tortured in custody.
Dragged out the car, slapped around the face, one of them naughty slaps people go.
A gripping new documentary.
You could get 25 years or a death penalty. Absolutely bricking it.
Hi, surviving a Dubai drugs bust.
Did you worry that people weren't going to believe you? Say what you want. Say I did it, say I didn't do it.
Watch on BBC iPlayer. BBC Radio 5 Live.
The EFL Cup Final, live from Wembley with Steve Crossman.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
Yeah, welcome back to Wembley Stadium, where in the final of the League Cup it is Liverpool 0, Chelsea 0. Chelsea looking for their first trophy, of course, under the ownership of Todd Boehly. I remember when Lewis Hamilton was trying to buy Chelsea Football Club at the time when Boehly bought it. Well, he's got more pressing things on his mind at the moment, I think, and he's been telling us that moving from Mercedes to Ferrari was the hardest decision of his career. He's been speaking exclusively to BBC Sounds as part of a new podcast, Back to Base.
It happened very fast, and I've known Fred for a long time. I was excited for a new year, but not really knowing what the future would hold. Not really knowing how long I was going to race for, but knowing that I felt super driven and excited to continue to race. And I mean, the opportunity just popped up, and I was like, okay, I've got to think for a second, and I didn't have a lot of time to think, and I had to just go with my gut feeling, and I decided to take the opportunity.
I was going to say, is it a gut feeling thing with you? You know, what you have
your gut and your heart. You know, I didn't speak to anybody. I didn't tell my parents till the day of it being announced, so no one knew, and I really wanted to do it for myself, and that's ultimately, like, I had to find out what was going to be the best for me.
And you said it was hard, obviously, leaving such a team you love.
Honestly, it was the hardest decision. When I left McLaren, was a very, very hard decision also, because it was like my family. It was really you feel such a part of the family, and obviously the Mercedes has been such a huge part of my life, and we've achieved so much together.
Lewis Hamilton speaking to Holly Samos. You can hear the full exclusive interview as part of that new Back to Base podcast. It's available on BBC Sounds. Just search for Checkered Flag and you'll be able to find it. Wolves are up to 8th in the Premier League after beating bottom side Sheffield United 1-0. Pablo Sarabia got the game's only goal. Here's his manager, Gary O'Neill.
Pleased with the win, obviously. And then first half really liked us. Thought we were really good. Created loads of chances, finding really good solutions, and second half really lost our way. Didn't like the second half at all. Just struggled to get a grip on it. Tried to put different players on, see if they could help find a rhythm for us, but we sort of got stuck in a negative moment, and we struggled to reverse it. But to be fair to the lads, in terms of digging in and defending the goal and defending long throws and set pieces, did really, really well at that stuff. So lots of different ways that you need to perform to win Premier League games, and we were below our best in the second half by a long way, and we had to dig in and fight. Fans were a big part of it, because I know how frustrated they were second half, because I was the same, but they still stuck with the group, stuck with what we're trying to do, and helped them get over the line. So proud that the players managed to keep digging in and show some real fight, but just really disappointed with the second half.
Gary O'Neill. That result leaves Sheffield United 8 points from safety. Celtic came from behind to beat Motherwell 3-1 thanks to 2 goals in injury time. That result means they're now 2 points behind Rangers at the top of the Scottish Premiership table. Here's Brendan Rodgers.
Well, it was a very important one. I thought the players responded magnificent in the second half. We started with a little bit of anxiety and didn't connect the game fast enough, and passes were too long, getting cut out, and then we were getting caught in the transition in behind. So yeah, we weren't really at the level, and obviously we go one behind from a corner, which or from a throw in, which was disappointing. So now you got to then show your belief and show your mentality as a team, and that's all we reinforced at half time, just to play our game, just shorten the passes, a couple of angles that we needed to correct. And then the game starts to flow for us, and then we can pin teams back. And then, as I said, we ran out very, very deserved winners in the second half. But I'm so delighted for the players, because, like I say, there's a story being written about this group. But we will write our own story.
Can you give us a bit more? You can't give us. You don't want to give us a bit more insight into that and what you mean by that.
No, you know exactly what I mean.
I'm actually not sure. I do exactly know what you mean.
Okay.
Can you tell us? People might be interested to know.
No.
But you're the one that's bringing that up.
Yes, absolutely.
So can you not give us some more on it?
Done. Good girl. Well done.
Right, Brendan Rodgers there speaking to Jane Lewis after Celtic's win over Motherwell. Elsewhere, India need 152 more runs to win the 4th test and the series against England. They'll resume on 40 without loss after bowling England out for just 145 in their second innings. Defending champion Cam Norrie has lost in the semi-finals of the Rio de Janeiro Open, and Frank Kirby has withdrawn from the England camp with a minor knee injury. England play Italy in a friendly on Tuesday. All the substitutes out warming up in front of us here at Wembley Stadium. Second half commentary of the League Cup final is on the way. Chelsea 0, Liverpool 0. Let's go down to the touchline. Maz Faruqi, we were watching up here in the commentary box Jurgen Klopp go absolutely crazy with referee Chris Kavanagh, but you'll have got an even better view.
Yeah, lots of detailed and intense conversations with Jurgen Klopp and the 4th official, several times pointing out, should we say, the more physical challenges, sometimes coming in from Chelsea players in the first half, and obviously that enforced substitution for Gravenberch, something Jurgen Klopp very, very unhappy about. Really interesting to see there's been lots of ferrying of messages between Jurgen Klopp and the Liverpool bench through Pep Linders. Although they settled more towards half-time after the enforced substitution, I think there might be more Liverpool tweaks on the way. And both managers going through a range of emotions. Mauricio Pochettino almost slumping to his haunches several times, really frustrated with the amount of the ball that Liverpool is seeing in the Chelsea half. But not much action yet on the Chelsea bench, but wouldn't be surprised if we see some more Liverpool changes perhaps at some point.
Thank you, Maz. Here inside the commentary box at Wembley Stadium, we've got Paul Heckingbottom, Ian Dennis, Alan Shearer and correspondent John Murray with second half commentary on the way here on 5 Live. Alan, can you just walk us back through the challenge on Gravenberch? I only saw one replay and I'm still trying to work out whether it's the kind of tackle that is naughty or can become worse than it's intended to be.
I think it was because he was perhaps... he was a yard away from him. He wasn't looking at him, and the ball had sort of gone. It was just a sort of a follow through. I don't think there was any intention in it to actually hurt him, but he has followed through and he has stood on his ankle, and understand the anger from Jurgen Klopp. He feels strongly, judging by his shouting and screaming and everything else towards the referee, he feels strongly that should have been a red card.
Well, I'm going to be amazed, Paul, if Jurgen Klopp gets through the game without a yellow card, at least, to be honest, because he's gone early, even by his own standards.
Yeah, he's gone early, but it's the emotion of the game. But he'll have calmed down now. It's really important for him to get his message across and make sure it's understood by his players. But as we alluded to before the game, he's a big one for running on emotion and trying to get the emotion across the players. He may have used that incident to G his players up, you know. Being a victim, being the one that's an injustice against them. So, yeah, he may have used that at half-time to create some more energy in his team.
Emotion, excitement, entertainment, we got it all in the first half, just looking for a goal now. Paul Heckingbottom, Alan Shearer, correspondent John Murray, and first, Ian Dennis.
Thank you, Steve. Neither side has made a change at half-time. Liverpool, of course, were forced to make an alteration during that first half, with Gomez coming on for the injured Gravenberch, who was carried off on and left the field of play. So it means that Liverpool have Kelleher in goal, back four of Gomez, Konate, Van Dijk and Robertson, a midfield now of Elliott Endo and McAllister, with Bradley playing on the right of the front three with Gakpo and Diaz as we're underway. Our referee, Chris Kavanagh, restarting this 2024 League Cup final here at Wembley on BBC Radio 5 Live, World Service and BBC Sounds. And Liverpool all in red, playing from right to left as we look. Chelsea in their royal blue shirts and white shorts, therefore, from left to right, with that unchanged side against Manchester City. But Luis Diaz is on the attack, left-hand side of the penalty area. Luis Diaz tries to roll it in, it goes behind for a corner. So very quickly the Chelsea side, Petrovic in goal, Gusto, Disassi, Colwell and Chilwell the defence, Casado, Fernandes, Gallagher, Sterling, Jackson and Cole Palmer. And already an early warning for Liverpool.
Diaz did really well keeping the width for Liverpool and then getting to the byline. He just didn't have that many options in the box when he got in there. 2 or 3 Liverpool players, but no one he could actually pick out. Corner for them though.
And Konate, Van Dijk and Gakpo are all lined up behind each other. It's a corner kick on this left-hand side. Robertson to take it, left-footed, it goes deep. Van Dijk tried to meet it, comes to Bradley, tries to turn on the edge of the area, battles for the ball. McAllister helps it out wide to Gakpo, and then the effort from Endo. Right-footed volley, flushes across the face of goal and out for a goal kick.
Liverpool do really well in keeping the ball alive, and Endo has no other thought than try and hit that on the half volley. It looked really, really close from the angle that we had here, but it was maybe 7 to 8 yards wide.
Yeah, looking at it again, it was always going away from goal, Paul.
Yeah, just the way he had to strike it, but as Alan said, a great regain, and then he's dragged the ball wide, but his technique was good. Difficult chance because it came to him really quickly.
Lines are open for 606, by the way. You can call 08085909693 with Chris and Robbie on the conclusion of this League Cup final. Bearing in mind that these two sides are meeting for the 18th time since September 2018, and 9 of the previous 17 have been level, and 3 of those finals have all gone to penalties. I wouldn't at all be too surprised if this one goes the whole hog. Once more, 0-0. Liverpool with a throw to Bradley. And I would imagine as well that in the Premier League, teams who are just outside of the top 5, looking for European qualification, will be hoping that maybe a Liverpool win would open up another space via the league. Teams such as Manchester United, Brighton, Wolverhampton Wanderers and Newcastle, or maybe not Manchester United, but certainly Wolves, who've now gone 8th after their win against Sheffield United in the Premier League earlier today. Gary O'Neill doing an absolutely fantastic job. Of course, he was formerly as a Liverpool youth coach, but doing a wonderful job at Molineux, as Robertson doing a wonderful job in defence, running back, taking it away from Sterling and back to Kelleher to clear it away. But for Chelsea, they've got a FA Cup tie to look forward to during the week. All the FA Cup 5th round action on 5 Live on Monday night. Coventry against Maidstone. On Tuesday, the Alan Shearer derby, Blackburn against Newcastle. Luton, Manchester City will have on Sports Extra. And on Wednesday, Chelsea against Leeds, with Liverpool, Southampton on Sports Extra. So we're bringing you 5 FA Cup ties with commentaries to look forward to over the next 3 days. But this is the League Cup final, and it remains Chelsea 0, Liverpool 0. And we're in the 4th minutes of this second half, as Liverpool pass the ball across the back, and then to Kelleher, all in green, passes the ball out to Gomez. The right back for Liverpool filled in very, very well on defensive duties on either flank for Liverpool this season due to the injuries that they've had to deal with. And it goes out of play for a Chelsea throw. It's the second half still just bedding itself in.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, other than that effort that Diaz had when he gave Liverpool the width basically straight after half time, there's been nothing in it again. A lot of play in the midfield.
Liverpool potentially could have 25 more games under Jurgen Klopp before he says a fond farewell, and I'm sure it will be an emotional farewell, particularly for that final league game at Anfield in the Premier League, as they vie for the title with Manchester City and Arsenal. Still looking for a quadruple this season, as Konate wrestles Jackson to the floor. The Chelsea fans are a little bit angered by they didn't get a free kick on that far side of the field. Elliott in the midfield for Liverpool, back Back it goes to Gomez, back pass to Kelleher, controls it left-footed, and then left-footed clears up towards Luis Diaz. Tries to just roll away, but then he backed into Gusto, who's fallen awkwardly and has stayed down.
Won't be for long though, he's all right.
Gusto deputising for the injured James. Quickly, free kick is taken by Caicedo, comes back to Disassi, hits it downfield, and switches play out towards Raheem Sterling, who had that disallowed goal in the first half, and on that occasion I actually thought back to the encounter 2 years ago when there was at least 3 goals disallowed in that thrilling 0-0 draw that went to a penalty shootout. Liverpool have since hit the post as Gakpo, over his head it goes from that high ball from Gomez, headed forward by McAllister. Gakpo tries to get a touch, Gusto with a clearance for Chelsea, chested forward just over the halfway line by Van Dijk, the Liverpool captain. On this near side, the left, Luis Diaz. Cole Palmer has gone with it. He's level with the penalty area as Liverpool play from right to left. We've been playing now for 6 minutes in this second half, and Liverpool go back to the halfway line. Van Dijk along the ground, finds Konate in the centre circle. Back it goes to this near side, but he's overhit that. Gusto unchallenged, lets the ball settle. Clears long, only as far as Endo. Gets it back from Robertson, short forward ball. The return then to the Japanese international. Holds off the challenge of Caicedo, who bounced away off Endo. He's also taken a knock to the left foot as Endo is hobbling. Now it's with Bradley on the right along the ground. Misplaced pass goes awry. Liverpool try and win the ball back. Chelsea though will bring it clear. Fernandes looks for the run of Jackson. Out towards that far side, the left. Konate has gone with it. Gallagher is in support. Here is Gallagher inside the penalty area, pulls it back. Fernandes just couldn't get it out from underneath his feet. It actually turned, so his back was facing the goal, and he just couldn't get a telling touch.
He couldn't do it. Really good work from Jackson down the left-hand side, who then found Gallagher, who then was looking for someone to come support him, and Enzo did that, but he just couldn't sort his feet out, could he? And luckily for Liverpool, it bounced straight back into the goalkeeper's hands.
First real chance of this second half so far. 7 minutes in on BBC Radio 5 Live. Chelsea 0, Liverpool 0. Caicedo goes square. Colwell will come onto it. Chilwell's quite high up on that far side, the left. Gallagher's also an option. Instead he goes square to Enzo Fernandez. Chilwell had made a run, not spotted. Enzo Fernandez instead passes the ball to Disassi. Now out towards Gusto on this near side, the right. Palmer available on the inside. Midway through the Liverpool half. Gusto passes the ball back on the halfway line. Disassi now goes square. Little touch from Colwell, gets it back from Caicedo. Liverpool have got everybody back. Here is Gallagher, midway through the Liverpool half. Quickly challenged by Endo, releases it back. Patient play by Chelsea at this stage. And now it's with Disassi. Both the full-backs are pushed on. In fact, pushed in was Gusto, and then a lapse in concentration. And Disassi's given the ball away to McAllister, but he couldn't find that piercing ball to just play in Elliott. And now Chelsea will come forward with Gusto over the halfway line. A lot of space on that far side, the left, but there's no width. A little bit lopsided in this Chelsea attack on this right-hand side for Cole Palmer now. Palmer with the cross strikes the back of McAllister and will spin and should be collected by Kelleher. Didn't go out of play.
Just looking at Pochettino's reaction there, where Chelsea lost the ball. Disassi, I think it was, lost concentration and gave it to Liverpool to hit them on the attack. He was going absolutely berserk on the touchline at Disassi for giving it away.
That's the voice of Alan Shearer on BBC Radio 5 Live. Commentary now of the Six Nations on Sports Extra is France 13, Italy 3. France are down to 14 men, and the latest score in Rugby League Super League, Salford lead Castleford by 18 points to 10. As Kelleher clears downfield from the edge of his penalty area. Bradley giving chase. Petrovic forced to head the ball outside of his penalty box. Chilwell keeps it in play. Long clearance, high downfield. Sterling will give chase. Konate will head it back to Kelleher. Well, I asked you in the first half, about 10 minutes in, Paul, what your initial thoughts of the first half. What are your thoughts of the second period?
Well, we've had a long period of play now where we've not even had a stoppage, so at the minute it's breathless, it's end to end. My big thing that I want to see Cole Palmer on the ball a lot more. He's had the big moment for Chelsea in the first half, big chance, but apart from that he's been very much on the periphery of the game, and I'd like to see him drifting in field more to get on the ball and try and outnumber Liverpool in the middle.
Certainly been a super signing, 12 goals that he scored. Community Shield at the start of the season as Disassi steps out of defence. Here is Sterling, his forward ball to Jackson, little flick off towards Gallagher. He invites Gusto to come forward. He makes a strong run on this near side, the right. Palmer's gone ahead of him. Endo, though, tracks the run of Gusto, now slows down, short forward ball. Palmer tries to flick it away there from Endo, runs away from Endo and Diaz, comes in field now, Cole Palmer, and shoots, but Kelleher had it covered, and it goes well wide and out for a goal kick.
That's exactly what he was trying to do, was trying to come inside and just work it onto that left foot, and with the hope that with him doing that, the space would open up for him to have a pop at goal. He did that, he just couldn't hit the target. Goalkeeper was comfortable watching it go wide.
Chelsea, on 2 occasions, both actually 2 years ago, the only side to have stopped Liverpool scoring in their last 12 Wembley visits. A history of when they meet in finals that goes to penalties. If you include the 2 domestic finals in 2022 and also the UEFA Super Cup when it finished 2-2 in Istanbul. And Liverpool won that one 5-4 on penalties a few years ago in 2019. This is the 2024 League Cup final, and we're still awaiting the opening goal in this contest here at Wembley as Disassi up towards Jackson. His header will go back to Caicedo. Downward header only as far as Elliott. Liverpool back in possession because of Gallagher's presence. Konate had to turn to Kelleher. Van Dijk will stroke it back to his goalkeeper. We've been playing now for 11.5 minutes in this second half. Konate just slows it down, puts a foot on the ball, and then passes the ball to Van Dijk. Robertson is over the halfway line, near side the left. Gomez is crying out for the ball on that far side the right. Instead, he gets it back from McAllister. Now it's Liverpool's turn just to keep the ball and assess their options. Chelsea drop off. Van Dijk, the Liverpool captain, finds Konate. Harvey Elliott on that far side the right. Gomez has gone ahead of the Liverpool player. Here is Harvey Elliott now, 10 yards inside the Chelsea half, right touch line. Diaz in the central area. Ball to Gomez, working up back out towards Elliott, far side. Elliott will send over a cross. Gakpo off his chest, left-hand side of the penalty area. A scoop ball back towards Elliott, tees himself up, down into the ground. Petrovic with a one-handed save. And Chelsea put the ball out of play for a throw.
Petrovic was really lucky that no one was coming in to get that, because he should have caught it. There was no way he should have punched that back into play.
Luis Diaz with a shot, running off target, a little bit off balance, and his shot was wayward, and it's a goal kick.
So Harvey Elliott's having a little moan at him there, because he was out to his right hand side. It just needed a little 10 or 15 yard push out to him, and he would have perhaps been in a better position to put the ball in rather than having the shot and hit it over.
They've had a couple of moments since the restart, haven't they? The Endo, and now that one from Elliott.
Yeah, definitely. I think Diaz has been involved in most of Liverpool's best things, whether it's been first half or second, whether it's him having an opportunity like that there or he looks the most likely to create. So he's going to be a really important player for Liverpool in this last half hour.
Just over half an hour remains then. Paul Heckingbottom and Alan Shearer with us here on 5 Live. The Chelsea defence keep that latest Liverpool attack at bay, only temporarily. Here is Gakpo picking it up. Now with Robertson. Back with McAllister midway through the Chelsea half. He was caught there by Gallagher. The referee, though, is going to play the advantage. And then, in fact, no, Chris Kelleher changes his mind and gives the free kick. And once again, Jurgen Klopp unhappy.
Yeah, I was just about to say, you'd rather have the free kick than the advantage and the ball going back on the halfway line. Now, Liverpool like to set a piece with. They'll get Van Dijk up, they'll get Konate up. So it's in a much better position to have it there than rather than passing it across the halfway line again.
It is worth reiterating, as we've got half an hour remaining, that Liverpool don't have many experienced options on the bench. They've already brought Gomez on, they've got Tsimikas, but then you're looking at youngsters such as Clark, McConnell, Kumas, Dans, Ponsa and Leone. Chelsea have potential game changers in Mudryk and Madueke to come off the bench, as it still remains deadlocked in this League Cup final. But Liverpool are attacking the end where their supporters are housed. They have the free kick. Robertson swings this one over. Van Dijk with a header! And Liverpool's captain with a breakthrough goal. Pure joy at the red end of Wembley. And Van Dijk goes over to celebrate. It was a beautiful ball in from the left-hand side. So inviting. And Van Dijk with a planted header. Liverpool lead Chelsea 1-0.
Well done, Van Dijk. What a header. What a ball in from Robertson. He just
combination, everything that you want to see when you're attacking a ball in the box. Was a great ball in from Robertson behind the Chelsea defence. So even if Chelsea head is the first to it, it's going to be difficult to defend. But you can see here the aggression, the determination. He holds off Chilwell with his right arm and then gets across the front of him and powers it into the corner with his head.
How many red smoke bombs have been let off in that Liverpool end? You're approaching probably double figures. One of them actually has come onto the edge of the playing surface behind Petrovic's goal. But Virgil van Dijk, for the first time captaining Liverpool in a final and leading from the front, Alan Shearer.
And you've got the Chelsea players who are mourning at the referee because we said about the advantage. You'd much have the free kick there than let Liverpool go across to their halfway line and back out to the right-hand side. But the Chelsea players are not happy with that. You can see them having a pop at the ref.
There's been another smoke bomb. The fireman actually behind that goal is struggling to put it out, and there's two firemen behind the goal just trying to deal with that at the moment. Referee Chris Kavanagh, they're checking for a possible offside, VAR. So play is yet to restart for two reasons.
I think they may be looking at shirt pull as well, interference, and then a shirt pull possibly.
It's going to the screen.
And Chris Kavanagh has been instructed by John Brooks, the VAR, to go over to the screen over on that far side. And you know what this normally means.
I don't think Van Dijk's the one in the offside position. I think it may be Gakpo who stops or prevents someone actually getting to the ball who's in that offside position. I may be wrong, I've only seen it once.
Yeah, looking at it, sees it. Endo, someone's certainly stood offside, but then do they interfere with the Chelsea defender to stop them getting to the ball?
He doesn't. Does he do that, Endo?
I don't think he stops anyway because the ball's over everyone anyway, and Van Dijk is challenging Chilwell, and those two I don't think have anything to do with it.
I would love the referee to have the courage of his convictions and actually say, no, I'm happy with my decision.
Yes, please. If he does believe that, I would love to see that.
Because they always said that VAR is not designed to, the games won't be re-refereed.
Clear and obvious. Yeah. Clear and obvious. And if it is Endo, but he is just standing his ground. He's not working too hard. It's not a pullback. He's just standing his ground.
Chris Kavanagh has disallowed the goal. And Van Dijk's header does not count. Chris Kavanagh has ruled it out, and we're back at 0-0.
Well, the view that we've got, I find that hard to believe that Chelsea player would get anywhere near that ball coming in. Has been blocked for it. It's right over his head, and he's not getting there from the view that I've got on the screen here.
Chelsea 0, Liverpool 0. And that's the second goal that has been disallowed. History may be repeating itself after 2022, and these two sides that slugged it out on that occasion. Gusto now on the right-hand side, blocked by McAllister, and a shake of the head from Jurgen Klopp in his technical area. But now with Chelsea, with Palmer on the attack, right-hand side of the area. Palmer does well, fires it in low, blocked by Van Dijk. McAllister, his forward ball goes in between Diaz and Gakpo, and Chelsea see it back to Colwell.
And you can see what it's done for the Chelsea fans now. Just giving that little bit of extra incentive, making a bit more noise.
Such a shame for Liverpool. It was a lovely ball in as well, wasn't it, from this left-hand side? So they have to try and shrug off that disappointment. Endo to Konate, back with Van Dijk. Van Dijk now finds Robertson in field. Gakpo turns away from Caicedo. That was sharp by the Dutchman. Caicedo though recovers. Referee says he got a foot on the ball. Gakpo not happy. Jurgen Klopp, head bowed. Ball played out by Petrovic. It's an underarm throw to Colwell. There is still a red haze actually in that Liverpool end of the ground where all of those flares had been set off after the celebrations of that goal. 65 minutes played. Chelsea 0, Liverpool 0. And still, you cannot call which way this League Cup final is going to go. Chelsea fans buoyed by that disallowed goal, with a vocal support from the end away towards our right. But it's going to be Liverpool who will get this throw-in on this near side to left, midway through the Chelsea half. Robertson will be prepared to take it. Not much movement though for him. Robertson waits. Gets it to Luis Diaz. Robertson just edges his way in off that left touchline. Gakpo plays it back. McAllister passes the ball back to a stationary Van Dijk. Back now with McAllister once again, the World Cup winner. Along the ground, Robertson able to turn. Gusto gets a foot into the challenge on one knee. Robertson. There was a push on Palmer, and that will be a free kick. Have you had a chance to look at it again, Alan?
I have, yeah, and it's actually Endo that's blocking Colwill, but I still haven't seen it. I've seen it again, and I still don't think that he's getting to that ball. That's a huge call from the VAR and the referee to go ahead and stick with the VAR's decision and telling him to have a look at it and disallow it.
Christopher Nkunku is going to be coming on. He's scored 2 goals this season. One of them was actually against Liverpool in that 4-1 defeat, and he replaces Raheem Sterling. So the former Liverpool player has only scored 3 goals in his 22 appearances now against his former club since he left Anfield, where he made 129 appearances for the club. But Christopher Nkunku, who's got a habit of scoring goals. The last 2 years he scored goals in the German Cup final for Leipzig against Frankfurt and Freiburg 2 years ago. We'll hope that that can continue as he is on for Chelsea, and then Gallagher dives under a challenge of Robertson. Robertson is suggesting that there was a dive there towards the referee, who's coming under pressure from Ben Chilwell, and it's just getting a little bit heated.
It's getting tasty and spicy, isn't it? He did have 3 swipes at him, Robertson, on that occasion. He caught him with the last one. The first 2 he didn't, but the last one he did, and give a free kick away in a dangerous position. This time for Chelsea on their right-hand side.
Gallagher waits to take it. They're attacking the end where the Chelsea supporters are based in this right-hand side. Liverpool have got everybody back. Gallagher, Chelsea not really created much in this second half so far, but there are at least 6 royal blue shirts to aim for inside that penalty area. Hand on his right hip by Gallagher, waits for the referee's whistle. There it is. Takes a deep breath, stuttering runner. Right hand side, Gallagher curls it towards the far post, over the head of Disassi. Chilwell will collect it on that far side. Chilwell's ball goes out of play, eventually out of thought. Yep, corner kick midway through the second half. Taking through to the full time. Here's John Murray.
Thanks, Ian. We'll hear from you again for extra time. It's 0-0. Huge talking point. The goal, in inverted commas, that was overturned by VAR. So it is still goalless here, and we've still got that kind of red mist. We've got quite a lot of red mist around Wembley Stadium, but we've got actual red mist still in the air from those smoke bombs. And Chelsea have got their first corner of the second half. And Gallagher is to take this. Right-footed, it's glanced across the face of goal and deflected up. I think Disassi with the final touch, who could only hike it up in the air, and Kelleher was able to catch it underneath the crossbar.
Don't know how he's missed it. He's 2 yards out. He may just have got ahead of the ball when the ball was whipped in and then flicked on, and he finds himself free at the far post and just couldn't get the connection that he wanted to do. Hits his knee rather than his boot, and he's only 2 yards out.
He was at the back post, and it was around about waist height, wasn't it? So it was an awkward height, but even so, all he did was deflect it up in the air. And that's a big opportunity, and it means it's still 0-0. But that's going to be a huge talking point, particularly if this goes against Liverpool after Mauricio Pochettino's comments. But that's a lovely weaving run in from the left-hand side from Diaz. It's still going to the edge of the area, and then Gakpo, right foot shot. He delivered it into his path, and all he could do, the Dutchman, was fire over, lean back, and the ball over the top of the bar.
Oh, it was great play from Diaz. He picks the ball up on the left-hand side and drives through the middle, through Chelsea, through 2 or 3 players. The balance and the technique that he has to get the ball and then find Gakpo, who's sort of leaning back. What is he, 15, 16 yards out, Gakpo? He never really looked comfortable, did he?
He didn't, so it is still 0-0 in the Six Nations. Now France 13, Italy 6. France down to 10 men. Commentary on Sports Extra. And in the day's Super League match, Salford 24,
Castleford 16. Chelsea 0, Liverpool 0. Lines open for 6:06, which will follow whenever this final finishes. So Robbie Savage and your old striking partner Chris Sutton will be taking calls as usual on a Saturday, Sunday night. 08085909693. There's plenty to talk about from this final, and here's Bradley bringing it forward for Liverpool, but then just plays the ball into the path of Chelsea, and Colwell's able to bring it forward up to the halfway line. The challenge is coming on him, and Chelsea though take up possession of Kunku. He's continued his run, Colwell, and Kunku's available on the edge of the penalty area. Jackson's in the middle. Here's the cross. It might reach all the way to Palmer, just outside the D. Palmer controls it, gives it to the right-hand side. Gusto is there. Gusto's low ball in. It comes off the shins of Van Dijk, and it's out of play for a throw.
Good defending from Virgil van Dijk there. Position was absolutely spot on, and it had to be, because there's a Chelsea player just running in behind him there. If he's not at that near post and clearing it.
That's Alan Shearer, former England captain. Paul Heckingbottom is also in the 5 Live commentary box, and you're also listening to us on the BBC World Service and BBC Sounds. Liverpool going to make a change, and it is one of the youngsters who is going to come on, the 19-year-old Bobby Clark, into this cup final. Here's Gallagher crossing. I think it's too close to Kelleher. In fact, it's overhit. It's all the way over. Everyone inside the 6-yard box, and it's through for a goal kick. So at 0-0 with just under 20 minutes to play. Bobby Clark gets the call from Jurgen Klopp, who's got his arm, that's one of those huge arms, and that big padded coat around the shoulders of the young man, the 19-year-old son of Lee Clark, former teammate of Alan's, and it is Conor Bradley who he replaces. So there's an endorsement, isn't it? His 9th senior appearance for Bobby Clark. It's a cup final, and it's in the crucial moments of.
Well, it just goes to show you the belief that Jurgen's got in the youngsters. One off, one on. He just didn't quite have the impact in the second half as he did in that first half, Conor Bradley.
No, but he was outstanding when he was catching the eye in the opening period of the match.
He was.
And in actual fact, it was the substitution of Gravenberch which actually lessened of influence, even though he was then playing further forward. It is 0-0. Chelsea 0, Liverpool 0. McAllister through to Diaz. Diaz finds Gakpo. Gakpo clips it across, and then just in the nick of time, Kunku, flying through the air, volleys it and prevents it from reaching Elliott on the far side of the Chelsea box. Still 0-0. Liverpool take up possession again. Chelsea lost it as they were trying to bring it forward. So now Elliott gives it to the right-hand side, and the cross from Clark wins a corner for Liverpool. Liverpool have already scored from a set piece in the second half, or at least they thought they had, until VAR intervened. So it's still goalless. But McAllister goes across there into the corner. World Cup winner receives a great ovation in his first season at Liverpool, and he will deliver this, an outswinger with his right foot. So Liverpool have got 3 players near the edge of the area. Van Dijk is there again, having thought that he'd scored the opening goal. McAllister looking for Konate, who heads it down, and it bounces to Chilwell, who nods it away. Elliott diving for it on the edge of the box, but Chelsea have been able to scramble it away to comparative safety. Endo is jumping for it. It's headed forward, not to Diaz. Caicedo is then losing out to Clark, and Clark couldn't find the little slip pass that he was looking for through to Gakpo. There was a Chelsea leg just intercepted. That's a brilliant piece of skill from Palmer down on the touchline in front of Jurgen Klopp, and he won the throw-in actually on the halfway line in the end.
I thought Clark should have went for goal, you know, and so he just wanted to pass it to his left-hand side instead of cutting in on his right-hand side. I thought it actually opened up for the shot rather than the pass. Just looking at where he's actually playing there, he's gone straight into the middle, and Harvey Elliott's gone onto the right-hand side where Bradley was.
Yes, he has. So crucial role. Central, midfield, sort of playmaker position. Chelsea 0, Liverpool 0. His dad will be very proud of him, won't he?
He will do.
Watching this.
So he should be.
Yes. Chelsea, blue shirts, blue shorts, white socks. That Chelsea badge in this kit glittering away. It always catches the eye, the Chelsea badge under the floodlights in its current incarnation. Ball is worked for Chelsea, high out towards the right-hand side. We are 15 minutes away from extra time. Well, 15 minutes away plus added time. Palmer giving it back to Gusto, then infield towards Caicedo. Caicedo then picks out the ball to Palmer. He's a threat, no doubt. Palmer plays it across. Little flick. Oh, Gallagher hits the post. He worked it across the goal. Found space in there, 8 yards out. And with that touch, smacked the far post and came back out.
Well, again, great play from Cole Palmer out on the right-hand side. Robertson didn't know which way he was going to go. He went inside and whipped it into Gallagher. And he just pinged it around the corner in the hope that it was going to find a target. And again, it hits the post. He hits it with his right foot. And it hits the post and comes back into the middle of the goal.
I'm not sure these two are destined to come up with a goal in these finals. So Gakpo's headed against the post in the first half. We've had the ball in the net twice. Very close offside against Jackson in the first half when Sterling put the ball in the net. And then a very controversial ruling out of the Liverpool goal, certainly in my opinion. And the backdrop to this, remember, for those who don't know, Mauricio Pochettino saying before the match that he hoped the officials wouldn't get carried away with the emotion of Jurgen Klopp's farewell. But even so, that's stretching it for the ruling out of that goal for a perceived blocking of a defender by a Liverpool player, Endo, in an offside position. Chelsea with the ball on the edge of their own penalty area. Of course, as well, Jurgen Klopp will feel that action should have been taken against Caicedo for his challenge on Gravenberch in the first half. So Jurgen Klopp will have plenty to say after this if it doesn't go their way, Alan.
Yeah, win or lose, they'll have plenty to say.
Well, he will.
Maybe right, and rightly so, I think, with that disallowed goal.
Yeah, no wonder he's running out of energy with all this sort of thing going on.
I wasn't sure Colwell was getting that ball at all.
No. Chelsea 0, Liverpool 0, and ball out to Elliott on the right-hand side. Liverpool in the final 15 minutes now. Elliott flights it across beautifully, actually, and then it's headed across the box by Robertson, but cleared away by Chelsea. Comes back to the edge of the penalty area. That's nicked away by Gusto. Palmer, first time pass from him. Jackson. Gallagher's making ground through the middle, but Canate actually puts an excellent tackle in on Jackson on the right wing. Chelsea take a quick throw. Gusto for Palmer. Down in the full-back position, he turns. He's up against the experienced Robertson. And then Palmer slips the ball into the penalty area. Gallagher on the turn, but it didn't work for him. There were defenders in there. I thought it was going to open up for Gallagher 10 yards out, but Liverpool's defenders did the job.
He's just starting to come into the game a lot more, Palmer, isn't he? He's getting the ball, they're feeding him more, and he's giving Robertson down this right-hand side for Chelsea a really tough time when he's getting on that ball.
Yeah, Conor Gallagher has had quite a quiet match. But as Alan Shearer says, he's now getting involved in it. Had a chance there, hit the post. It's funny, isn't it? Whenever people at the moment are talking about the midfielders for England in the squad, people never seem to mention Gallagher. Yet he's been very much part of the England setup this season. And he's starting so regularly for Chelsea. Ball out to the right, but it's out of play. So while it's out of play, let's bring in Paul Heckingbottom. There's plenty going on, Paul.
Plenty going on, yeah. We hoped that both teams would be positive in the substitutions, and they have been in terms of how positive they can be. Jurgen Klopp bringing on Bobby Clark and then pushing Harvey Elliott a little bit further forward. Nkunku for Sterling, another positive move by Chelsea. And it's been reflected in the intentions of both teams. Both teams still playing on the front foot and trying to score seems to be an elusive goal in 90 minutes between these two.
A dramatic scoreline in the Six Nations, which is France 13, Italy 13 against the 14 men of France. So you can hear the conclusion to that on Sports Extra right now, and it's still Salford 24, Castleford 16 in the Super League. Chelsea 0, Liverpool 0, lines open for 6:06. Here's Diaz racing away on the halfway line. Gusto reaches him, but there's a bit of a shirt pull. Diaz still going though, still going into the penalty area. Diaz, who scored in the second leg of the semi-final against Fulham. Diaz now sets up McAllister on the edge of the area, ball to Elliott, and now Gomez shoots from the angle. Joe Gomez straight at the goalkeeper, who caught it just in front of his face. Joe Gomez, he'd be a surprise scorer, particularly since he's never scored.
I was just about to say that, yes. It's a decent effort from him. They work it again, Liverpool work it well across the pitch from left to right, and then he's on the overlap and hits it first time, but it's straight at Petrovic.
Well, as I've said to your mate Chris Sutton actually during commentaries this season, he's going to score soon, Joe Gomez, because he keeps getting into those sort of positions, and it would be just like football, wouldn't it, if he was able to find a goal on an occasion like this. But it is still 0-0, just like the two finals 2 years ago between these two. And then McAllister in with Caicedo on the halfway line, and it's a yellow card for the Liverpool man. And Jurgen Klopp, I can see from here, I can see those teeth from up here, he's laughing away, but he doesn't mean it, because Caicedo got away with the challenge in the first half, and McAllister's booked for that.
That's exactly what he will be saying. Mind you, that was a yellow card as well, because he did stop him.
It was. Chelsea 0, Liverpool 0. Liverpool, the record 9 times winners of this competition. This is the 64th final, but Liverpool won it 9 times, but out of the 9, only twice have they won it in the 90 minutes in the original final, if you like. And it looks as though this one might be going beyond the 90 minutes as well. Here's Endo to Elliott on the right. Elliott just skips away back into his own half, then once again crosses the halfway line. Little fair-haired figure, started all of the matches in the Carabao Cup for Liverpool, just like Kelleher, the goalkeeper, who, remember, made that very good save in the first half to keep it at 0-0. Kelleher, who's got an excellent record in penalty shootouts, by the way, been involved in 4, and Liverpool have won all 4. McAllister playing the ball to Robertson, passes it down into the full-back position. Diaz now works it across, ball across the face of goal from Robertson. It'll be kept in actually by Elliott on the far side. It was that wide. Comes back to Gomez. Gomez's ball in, diving header away by Caldwell, comes out to Endo. Endo wanted to shoot, that was charged down. Ooh, Gallagher slides in there, that was a 50-50. He just got the ball ahead of Konate, but no, the referee says it was Konate who fouled him, and it's a yellow card and a free kick to Chelsea.
I think he actually gives it for handball, John. I think he actually stops it by going in there with the handball rather than the tackle. But it was a decent effort, you know, for Liverpool. They opened it up well again. Chelsea down the left-hand side with Robertson. I'm not sure whether he was actually having the shot or whether it being a cross. And just looking at the replay there, it was for handball on Konate.
Yeah, good spot. Chelsea 0, Liverpool 0. Just been told Diogo Jota's been busy on Twitter. Here's Gusto down the right-hand side. One of Liverpool's injured contingent. Jurgen Klopp would love to have him to bring on. Palmer miscontrols this. That's unlike him, out of play for a throw into Liverpool in their own left-back position. Diogo Jota saying on Twitter the word UAU, which I guess is wow, which translates as, believe it or not, wow. And that was his response to the Liverpool goal being disallowed.
I would have guessed that's what it meant.
Yes, so would I. Yes. Multilingual. How's the German coming on for the summer, Alan? Is it as good as that?
It's our read.
Mein Gott. Chelsea 0, Liverpool 0, and Gusto with a throw infield for Fernandez. Gallagher challenged by Konate. It's found its way. Well, Caicedo did well there. Found its way to Palmer. He's got options here. Palmer, left-footed ball, but that's beyond Chilwell, who'd made his run into the penalty area. Chilwell, such a threat he is when he's at his best. Bursting forward from the left-back position now. Caicedo, Fernandez. This is certainly nothing like the 4-1 that we saw at Anfield a month ago. They've been toe-to-toe here. Long ball for Gusto. Gusto's ball right across the face of goal and beyond the far post, with Nkunku sliding in. Couldn't get there. Goal kick Liverpool.
Just didn't think he read the situation quick enough, you know, because I think that's a really good ball across the danger area of that Liverpool 6-yard box and just waiting for someone to come in and get on the end of it.
Let's go down to pitch side. Mazfarouki's down there.
Yeah, 3 Liverpool subs going to be coming on this second half now. John, Tsimikas, McConnell and Dans. McConnell and Dans obviously coming on against Luton in midweek as well, so triple sub coming this way from Liverpool soon.
Well, Clark's already on the field, and now Dans and McConnell, you know, who barely played, as Mouse says, Jayden Dans, son of Neil Dans, who many supporters will remember playing for their clubs, so they're coming on as well. Well, this truly is trust in the youngsters.
Absolutely, he's got huge faith in them. Put them into this situation, but I think he also realised that they're going to need a little bit more energy as well, because that's going to be asking a lot for these players to go right through, and that's one of the reasons why he's doing it as well.
Mauricio Pochettino's made just the one change. Here's Diaz on the left-hand side. Diaz's ball cut out by Fernandez on the edge of the box. Yep, the three substitutes all together are walking forward now for Liverpool, but Chelsea breaking forward with Palmer on the right-hand side. Gallagher wants it in the middle. Palmer right into Gallagher's pass in the box. Kelleher comes out and makes a blocking sliding save. Excellent one-on-one.
Another impressive save that is from Kelleher. When Gallagher's running in there and he's opening up the space, and Palmer cuts in size and picks his head up. He's just thinking, can he get the right pass? And he did just that. And the touch from Gallagher I didn't think was great, which then allowed the goalkeeper to set himself and make the save. But another big chance for Chelsea.
It was another big chance for Chelsea. Gallagher's hit the post, had that opportunity there. He knows that was a big one. That would probably have won the cup for Chelsea. And Gallagher, who is in form, 3 goals in his last 3. Ball played forward by Fernandes. This is for Jackson. Konate does ever so well. Jackson's still in it, inside the penalty area. Then back to Gallagher with a right foot shot from the edge of the box, which is wide of the top corner.
Well, what a ball in behind. I wasn't sure whether Jackson was offside or not. Konate had 2 or 3 yards to make up, and he did just that, only because Jackson's touch wasn't great. He certainly wasn't offside because he makes the run from inside his own half, and then Konate makes that up and stops him. But then Jackson rolls it back perfectly for Gallagher to come and try and hit that target, but he blasts it over again.
So here come the changes. Robertson is being substituted. Andy Robertson. So off he comes, not long back from injury, so perhaps that's a factor. And don't forget, Liverpool have got these big games coming up. Fortnight's time they play Manchester City at Anfield. Such a big game in the Premier League. So Tsimikas replaces him. McConnell has come on into the midfield for McAllister, so lots of experience going off there. And Gakpo is replaced by young Jayden Danns, the 18-year-old son of Neil. He's a Merseysider, and he is playing up front through the middle now for the remainder of this cup final. Big changes there. Experienced players going off and inexperienced players, with the exception of Tsimikas, coming on.
Well, that's a belief he's got in them. What have they got? 3 or 4 minutes left of normal time plus stoppage.
Yep.
Huge belief to put in the youngsters.
So Chelsea 0, Liverpool 0. 6:06 with Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton maybe delayed for half an hour or so. 08085 909 693 to book your call. FA Cup commentaries. The next 3 nights on 5 Live will have all of the ties covered. Here is the newly arrived McConnell, whose pass is beyond Danns. And Gusto is able to turn the pass back to Petrovic to clear. Comes back to Danns near the edge of the box. Danns, they're appealing for offside. Danns shoots right-footed. It's saved by Petrovic, and there is no offside flag.
I thought he was offside. I think all the Chelsea players are looking over to the assistant to think, when are you going to flag? And he gets his shot away, and he still didn't flag. So he mustn't have been offside.
So that was a chance. What a story that would have been. Just his second appearance, Jayden Danns, for the Liverpool first team in a senior competitive match. Mikhailo Mudryk is going to come on. Chelsea attacking, we're in the 89th minute. And Nkunku down the left, former Paris Saint-Germain man who's been out injured for most of this season. And then Chilwell comes in and tried to win the throw-in, but it went straight out of play up for the Chelsea captain.
Definitely opened up, and there's so much space around the pitch now. And Nkunku had lifted his head up. We already see Jackson in the middle there because Tsimikas couldn't get back to cover him.
Hang on a minute. This can't be right. They've put a Colwell's number. Colwell can't be coming off to be replaced by... No, there we are. Yeah, it's Jackson. Richard Pochettino was very quickly out to the 4th official to point out that clerical error. Everyone's laughing down there. But it is Jackson who is off, slaps hands, and Mudryk comes on. So I guess, having seen Nkunku play quite a number of times recently, yeah, Mudryk says to Nkunku, you're playing through the middle. So Mudryk takes over on the left, the blonde-haired Ukrainian. And we are now almost into added time in this eventful goalless draw, just like the final 2 years ago in this competition. Disassi at the back for Chelsea. Fernandes just got a heavy touch on that. Clark is trying to put pressure on Chelsea with the press, so it's clear to the halfway line. Konate then hoists it downfield, and I think we'll see Tim Robinson's board. He's struggled with that board, hasn't he, today?
It's got a note in front of this one.
No, it's just the red 6. Just the red 6. So 6 minutes of added time, and it'll be extra time after that. So Chelsea on the halfway line. Fernandes as he's challenged. Here's Caicedo. Diaz was in, but the bouncing ball, just a high foot, I think, by Caicedo. That's given us a free kick. Liverpool with the set piece. So much in this match so far, the opportunities. And actually, when you look at the list that I've got here, Liverpool's chances in this match, many more than Chelsea. But then again, Chelsea have hit the post. Gallagher had that big opportunity as well. As Liverpool now on the halfway line. Gomez. Liverpool will feel wrong the way that goal was ruled out as well. Gomez passes the ball straight to Palmer. Still inside the Chelsea half. There's a lot to do here. Caicedo plays it over the top. And it will bounce, I think, to Mudryk. Gallagher couldn't get it into his stride, but Mudryk behind him, into Nkunku inside the box. The challenge on him from Van Dijk. Nkunku went down quite theatrically, and as he gets up, he's not appealing to the referee. And referee Kavanagh wasn't buying that either. Palmer, that was a chance there. Opened up.
Yeah, it did open up. Yeah, Konate was struggling again with Gallagher getting in behind him, but he just couldn't get that right connection on it, which would have took him away towards goal. Luckily for Konate and for Liverpool, it pushed him out to the left-hand side.
That's Alan Shearer. We've got Paul Heckingbottom with us as well. 5 Live in the World Service from the BBC, live from Wembley. Extra time looming. Yet again, just like 2 years ago. Here is Fernandes. Fernandes just red wall in front of him. But Caicedo finds Palmer. Palmer, little ball in. Nkunku with a chance. Excellent block. And then the shot from Palmer. That's blocked. Gusto's chance. And then Nkunku. Oh, straight at the goalkeeper. From 6 yards. Swung a leg at it. But hit it straight at Kelleher. And somehow Liverpool survived there. Blocks, saves, all sorts. And Chelsea so close to making the breakthrough.
Goodness me, how many chances do you need, Chelsea? You had 3 in about 7 or 8 seconds then, and every single one of them failed to connect. Either blocks or the goalkeeper saved it, but 3 big opportunities.
Nkunku, I mean, an excellent block by Konate as well. Palmer's shot was blocked, and then the save from Nkunku, which was hit straight at him.
Anywhere else, and it's in the back of the net, but straight at the goalkeeper.
Yeah. It's a corner, however, corner in added time. A goal now, and Chelsea and Mauricio Pochettino will probably win the cup. Chilwell plays it in. Kelleher comes straight, headed down and away by Dans, and then nicked away on the edge of the box. Luis Diaz running from the edge of his own penalty area. Blue shirts trying to catch him. He's got support there as well. Support from Elliott. Elliott back to Diaz. Left side of the penalty area. Turns the full 360 degrees, but Chelsea back in great numbers there. Excellent work from Chelsea. Real hunger to prevent Liverpool from snatching the goal that would win it for them. And then a foul by Luis Diaz on Palmer and a free kick to Chelsea.
Just don't think he had an energy left. He ran from his own half some 50 or 60 yards, and all of a sudden he finds 3 Chelsea players around him. He just got no energy, had to go down and probably deliberately gave away the free kick to get a breather.
Dramatic finish here at Wembley. We're in the 4th minute of added time. Dramatic finish in the Six Nations as well. France 13, Italy 13, the final score. France, who played much of the match with 14 men. Italy hit the post with the last kick of the game. And Chelsea on the attack with Mudryk into the penalty area, but Gomez does his work there. It's cleared away, but it's cleared away back to Fernandes, and then Mudryk is challenged, and it's a free kick for the foul on Mudryk. Full time in the Super League as Chelsea take a quick free kick, and Mudryk gives it back to Fernandes on the left-hand side. Fernandes is dispossessed. Groans from the Chelsea supporters in one half of Wembley Stadium in front of us, and then the ball cleared away downfield where Colwill turns it forward to Fernandes. He might have gone back to his goalkeeper, and Fernandes could only play it down the line. Yes, it finished Salford 26, Castleford 22. Chelsea 0, Liverpool 0. It's been entertaining.
It's absolutely unbelievable that we've never had a goal. I find it staggering the number of chances that both teams have had over the, what is it, 95 minutes we've had at this moment in time.
Yeah. As Ian said earlier, it is remarkably similar actually to the League Cup final of 2 years ago, which went 11-10, remember, in the penalty shootouts. In the 2 penalty shootouts between them back then, Liverpool missed just 1 out of 18 penalties. And that was in the FA Cup final. Scored all of them in this final. Kelleher, who scored in that shootout, had to be sharp there against Gallagher on the edge of his penalty, or outside the box, shouts for handball, and play continues. That's not given. I think Chelsea thought that was going to be given, but they continue to play. 6 minutes of added time. We are in the 6th minute. How many late goals have there been this season? How many? And these two sides, both of them love a late goal, and that's an excellent turn from Gallagher. Canate though went with him. He's defended well, Canate, but he's adjudged to have fouled Gallagher in there, which is debatable, but it's a free kick to Chelsea.
Yeah, his pace has been a great asset for him today, because on 2 or 3 occasions Chelsea players have been away from him, but that's rescued him, got himself back into positions with 1 or 2 great tackles.
Yeah, those French central defenders, might see them in the summer, Saliba and Canate. Free kick to Chelsea, forward of the centre circle. This might be the last action of the first half. So much to chew over. And the moment when Van Dijk headed the ball in, Liverpool thought they had the lead through the captain, Robertson's free kick, but it was ruled out by VAR. Free kick taken short. Palmer curls it into the box, but that's through and beyond and behind. It's a goal kick to Liverpool, and that is it. 0-0. Somehow, Alan Shearer, not quite sure how. Posts have been hit, balls have been in the net, chances, saves, blocks, no goals.
It's had everything but the goals. I mean, you have to question the finishing, I mean, because both sides have had some really exceptional chances and failed to take them. But it's been an incredibly entertaining game, and I think there's still so much to come. Wouldn't put it past penalties either.
You would not. Paul Heckenbottom?
Yeah, entertaining game. Bit of everything. We've had contentious decisions to talk about, big moments. Kelleher, when he's been called upon, 3 top saves. I'm just looking at how that extra time's going to pan out, how the last 5 minutes of that normal time panned out. I think Chelsea have to really fancy their chance. It's a big ask for these young Liverpool players, a big ask. But what a story that would be if one of them steps up either in extra time or to win the game on penalties. But Chelsea at the minute, I think we'll have to be favourites going into extra time.
Yeah, it's certainly there for Liverpool with all the youngsters who are involved now, the potential storyline, but it's still there for Pochettino and Chelsea as well. And just watching now the 2 managers doing their things in the huddles before we get to extra time. So, Chelsea 0, Liverpool 0. And Steve Crossman is here in the box with us.
Well, we may end up with a penalty shootout here at Wembley Stadium, but it's possible the most dramatic penalty of the day has already happened at the end of a Six Nations thriller between France and Italy. Claire Thomas.
Nobody likes a draw, my co-commentator Kat Merchant just said at full time, but that was by any standards a highly entertaining 80 minutes in Lille. A try-apiece, a quartet of high-pressure penalties, and a red card for France's Jonathan Danty, and then, as you said, Paolo Garbisi with the penalty to win it with the clock in the red, but it ricocheted off the uprights. Both sides exhausted and flummoxed will head into the second fallow week with a pair of table points and plenty to ponder. In Lille, it finishes France 13, Italy 13.
Well, if there's any exhaustion here at Wembley Stadium, then the 2 managers are doing their best to drum it out of their players. Maurizio Pochettino in the heart of a huddle of blue shirts. They've just broken away. And Jurgen Klopp is being his usual passionate, demonstrative self down on the halfway line. Let's get a closer look. Maz Farouki's down there.
Yeah, more frustrations from Jurgen Klopp with the officials, Steve. Before Canate was booked, when those quite stern challenges were going in the second half, he turned and almost ran at the 4th official with a huge grimace on his face, really wearing his heart on his sleeve. The Chelsea bench around me, by the way, in stoppage time when Chelsea had those 3 huge chances at the end of the 90 minutes to try and find the back of the net. Couldn't believe that they couldn't score, head in their hands all around me. And Gravenberch obviously was stretchered off in the first half, is in the Liverpool dugout on crutches though, so still more injury concerns mounting for Liverpool, and obviously extra time to come.
Yeah, and we're almost ready for extra time now as the Liverpool players break out of their huddle. I'm watching Kelleher just getting a bit of tape and readjusting his goalkeeper gloves. Paul Heckenbottom, if Liverpool go on to win this final, we'll be talking rightly about at least 3 outstanding saves by their goalkeeper.
Great saves. I mean, we didn't get, because of the frantic nature of the game, we didn't get a chance to talk about the save he made from Conor Gallagher when he was through. He read Cole Palmer's through ball, and as soon as the ball left Cole Palmer's foot, he was out. He narrowed the angle, and then he did make it a more difficult chance for Gallagher, but he still had to spread himself, and he actually made the save with his left hand. It wasn't just a case of Conor Gallagher hitting his body.
If they don't go on to win, we'll be talking about the disallowed goal. So I've got a slightly contrary point of view on this, because I can see why I can totally understand why it's been disallowed. I've got to see a replay with a bit of a front-on angle, and I suppose my point would be that if Endo is trying to stop Colwill getting to the ball, whether he would have done or not might not be relevant. Just that action might be enough.
And I 100% get that. And it will always be the same, I think, if you ask any manager. My point is, they need to be given every single week then when you see that. You can't just disallow Liverpool's goal in the cup final and then in the Premier League be watching teams make blocks to create space and have the goals given.
Could have been umpire's call. If only they had that. Was given as a goal on the pitch. Was it conclusive? If not, goal stands. That might be what Jurgen Klopp is thinking. He's stalking back to his technical area now. I don't think, Alan Shearer, Liverpool and Chelsea will ever produce another goal in a cup final. It's never going to happen.
Not judging by the number of chances that have been created and missed this afternoon and in other finals. I mean, it's incredible. I mean, Kelleher has made 2 or 3 fantastic saves. Liverpool have missed a couple of big chances also, all to play for. But I agree with Paul, this is a huge ask for these youngsters, for Liverpool to step up the next 30 minutes and even more after that if it goes to penalties.
One of the great 0-0s. 30 minutes more. Yes, please, Ian.
Very much so, just like 2 years ago. And if you remember back to that League Cup final, then Matip actually had a goal disallowed for the same reason, whilst this one here today. But on that occasion, it was Van Dijk who was the player who was penalised. Van Dijk that particular day said didn't understand it, and I'm sure the Dutchman would reiterate those words as the first period of extra time is about to get underway. So Liverpool all in red, playing from left to right against Chelsea in their royal blue shirts, shorts and white socks from right to left. Liverpool, this could be their first clean sheet of this League Cup campaign against the Chelsea side, who kept a clean sheet in their last 3 finals but have won the trophy only once. As Chelsea get the game back underway, it's been another great contest between these two sides here at Wembley Stadium. You're listening to BBC Radio 5 Live. We're live on the World Service and also available on the BBC Sounds app. As the ball played out of play by Gomez, very quick on the teams. Kelleher in goal for Liverpool. Back four of Gomez, Canate, Van Dijk and now Tsimikas. They've got Clark, Endo and McConnell in the midfield with Elliott, Danz and Diaz up front. And because now that they've gone into extra time, Liverpool had used their 3 opportunities to bring on 5 substitutes, but they will be allowed 1 more in this extra period of the 2 15-minute slots. Chelsea, meanwhile, have got 3 more substitutes that they can use at 2 more opportunities. Petrovic is in goal, Gusto, Disassi, Colwill and Chilwell, Caicedo, Fernandes, Gallagher, Nkunku, Mudryk and Palmer for Chelsea. And we said before about the better options, or the more experienced options that Chelsea had. Let's see how Liverpool's young guns fare in extra time here. Certainly they haven't wilted or shown signs of being wilted or at this stage in this League Cup.
No, not at all. Jurgen's put them out there and he's put them out for a reason. He's asked them to do a big job, and at the minute they're doing it really well.
Elliott scampers forward, near side the right, keeps the ball in play by the corner flag, delivers the cross, directed up in the air by Colwill, bouncing ball in the penalty area, Luis Diaz. The angle is tight, and in the end he's lost out as Gusto will clear. Endo, though, the Japanese international, controls it. Forward ball out towards Tsimikas. Both these two sides, remember, are involved in FA Cup action in the midweek, both on Wednesday night. Chelsea at home to Leeds, Liverpool at home to Southampton. Games you can hear on 5 Live and Sports Extra respectively. But this is the League Cup final. Waiting for the opening goal after Liverpool's effort disallowed. Sterling had one chalked off in the first half. Both sides have hit the post. Canate to Elliott midway through the Chelsea half. Gomez makes the run forward on this right hand side. Just showed too much to Mudryk, who nicked it and took it off his toes. Corner kick.
Yeah, he had to be sharp. He lost him, didn't he, Gomez? Mudryk, he just got in behind him, but his reaction was good. He's given a corner away though for Liverpool.
So Liverpool have a corner on this near side, the right. Tsimikas, the Greek defender, with a little ponytail, will come across to take it, place the ball down in the quadrant. Chelsea Chelsea have everybody back inside their penalty area. Elliott is available, right corner of the area if required. He's not. In it goes from Tsimikas, headed out by Chilwell, taken on the chest by McConnell, plays it back towards Gomez. Now it's with Clark, who floats this ball forward, hangs in the air and allows Chilwell to head it away. Only as far as Elliott, plays it back in, hits it towards Van Dijk, gets his head on it, down! Tipped over! What a story that would have been for Jadon Dance on only his second appearance for the club. His header tipped over by Petrovic for a corner kick.
It's actually a really good header. It was also a good header from Van Dijk with the ball that comes to the far post. He had to win that header to nod it across back to Dans. He climbs really well and he thinks that's his moment. It's going in the top corner. Petrovic stretches and manages to push it over. Another corner for Liverpool.
The 18-year-old forward with his bushy hair causing consternation in the Chelsea camp.
Two good efforts he's had.
Still it remains goalless. Corner kick far side to left. Tsimikas, it's an outswinger. Goes over everybody's head. It arcs its way out of the penalty area. Elliott plays the ball down the line. McConnell tries to whip it in first time. Blocked by Gallagher. Paul Heckingbottom. Liverpool has started this extra time period very well.
Very, very well. A lot of energy, a lot of urgency. It looks like they're determined to win the game before penalties.
Elliott plays the ball back. Said before that Chelsea have got 2 more opportunities with 3 substitutes. Mudryk is going to be utilised and is going to be coming on, getting his final instructions from Mauricio Pochettino, who had success in Paris, but is still looking in the English game for a first bit of silverware. As Disas's clearance goes only as far as Luis Diaz, didn't clear that at all very well, the French defender. Tsimikas to Dance. Dance still going, playing with confidence. McConnell looking towards Tsimikas. There was Cole Palmer back inside his penalty area to clear the ball away. Chelsea were defending in numbers. Mudryk will, with his pace, race after that ball. Konate will see back to Kelleher. Liverpool will build once again. Liverpool have played very well in these opening 5 minutes. Gomez spreads it out. Diaz, nobody's picked him up. Able to control that ball from the air, left side of the area. In it goes. Clark will pull it back. McConnell just tried to nick it away from Gallagher. And Gallagher, in his desperation to keep the ball, has fouled Diaz, and Liverpool have got a free kick, 0-0.
I don't think he knew he was coming. I thought Gallagher thought that there was no one there, and Diaz came on his wrong side, and he didn't have no choice but to foul him. Dangerous position again for Liverpool with another set piece.
And if we are to keep harping back to 2 years ago for Conor Gallagher, you could read Mason Mount for the chances that he's had and hasn't taken.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
So Mudryk will come on because Gallagher is coming off. He'd actually gone 34 games without a goal and has scored 3 in his last 3, but unable to add to that. So Mudryk comes on for Chelsea. They will still have 1 more opportunity to make further substitutions. But it's a slow walk for Mudryk. Liverpool with Tsimikas have got a free kick midway through the Chelsea half. Mudryk then is on. Little hook there for Gallagher from Pochettino. 6.5 minutes into this first period of extra time on BBC Radio 5 Live, the World Service and BBC Sounds.
It's in almost an identical position from the goal that Liverpool were disallowed.
And that was on the hour mark, with that cross that was whipped in from the left, and Van Dijk planted his header on it. VAR chalked it off. Tsimikas now delivers it. It curls its way in, curls all the way out to Konate, hooks it back in. Dance challenges Petrovic, but it's a good commanding take by the Chelsea goalkeeper.
Just what his defenders needed. Really strong, good goalkeeping, taking the pressure off his defenders.
Ball has gone awry for Chelsea. Elliott picks it up. Endo now. McConnell is behind him. Passes the ball out wide. Tsimikas will come forward left-hand side. Leaves it for Diaz. And Liverpool, with the exception of their 2 central defenders, have every other red shirt in the Chelsea half as they play from left to right here on 5 Live. We're midway through the first period of extra time. Chelsea at the minute have spent most of this extra time trying to contain Liverpool as their supporters, in the end away towards our left, provide the vocal support. excellent record when it comes to shootouts. Liverpool have an excellent record when it comes to shootouts. They've won all 4 against Chelsea. Champions League semi-final in 2007, the Super Cup in 2019, and the two years ago. Might not need that. Tsimikas finds Diaz, chips it. Elliott down into the ground, and it just brushes the side netting. And some of the Liverpool supporters away in the end to our left thought that had gone in.
He tries to hit it with the front of his foot, you know. I thought he might have been better off going with the inside of the foot, inside of the left foot. It's a more difficult skill, I think, to hit that with the front, the way you're running onto it with his. If he opens his body up there and tries to curl it, instead of the front, the inside, just doesn't get the connection that he wants.
At the minute, Paul, the changes that Chelsea have made, we talked about Madueke and Mudryk, they haven't really made much of an impact so far.
Not at all. It's the youth, it's the energy of Liverpool which is dictating this first part of the extra time. I think, but certainly Madueke coming on, it's not for his defending abilities, so his pace on one side, Mudryk pace on the other, and Nkunku is the 9 now. While ever Liverpool attacking, they need to keep one eye on that. It may be that pace and that directness on the counter from Chelsea which gets them the goal.
Mudryk's on the left, Madueke the right, and Nkunku's through the middle. Then you've got a midfield 3 of Caicedo, Enzo and Cole Palmer. Chelsea push up now. The outfield players are all concertinaed in that middle third of the pitch as the ball is cleared away by Petrovic. The close control comes from Pochettino, who passes the ball with his right leg back to Chilwell on this near side. We've been playing now for nearly 10 minutes of this first period of extra time, and still these two sides cannot be separated. 0-0. Colwell hits the long ball forward, and Nkunku not ever going to keep that ball in play. Goalless. Penalties loom ever larger, just as many people had predicted, Alan.
It's incredible. Liverpool fans are trying their best to get behind their team and their youngsters, and the team are reacting well to it. They've certainly been the better team in this extra time period.
They faced a number of problems coming down on the trains. There was a problem, I think, at Crewe earlier today. Heaven knows what it'll be like travelling back to the northwest, but the red and white scarves are being swirled in the end away towards our left. As on the left, Diaz comes forward, enters the penalty area. Downs was there. Excellent challenge by Colwell. Fired back in by Tsimikas, down into the ground and caught by Petrovic.
What a battle that's been out on that side. Diaz against Gusto. It's been end-to-end. Diaz has got at him, gone past him a few times, as he did on that occasion, and Dan's just couldn't get the connection that he wanted to with that ball in from Diaz.
He joined the academy at the age of 8. Made his debut against Luton in midweek. The son of Neil Downs, the former Crystal Palace player. And he certainly hasn't been daunted by the prospect of playing here at Wembley in extra time with 4 minutes remaining. Chelsea now will make a rare foray into the Liverpool half on the right-hand side. Still 0-0. Madueke looks to go on the outside. Tsimikas goes into the challenge. Madueke out it goes for a goal kick. And Van Dijk waits to take the goal kick away towards our left-hand side. But all the noise coming from the Liverpool supporters. Jurgen Klopp down below takes a swig of liquid refreshment. He looks quite relaxed at this stage. In an interview earlier in the week where he was saying his favourite medal was the Premier League title, not the Champions League, not his first trophy. He might well add to that this season. They are the current leaders in that three-way race for the title. But if they were to win the League Cup for a second time under his tenure, with the youngsters and the circumstances, I'm sure it would give him so much satisfaction as Enzo Fernandez passes the ball back to Petrovic. And the Chelsea fans now respond to the Liverpool supporters with the red and white scarves being swirled around their heads, and the royal blue flags are now flying in the end towards our right-hand side as this first period of extra time has just started to slow down a little bit after Liverpool had bossed the opening 10 minutes and Chelsea started to see a little bit more of the ball. Colwell gives it away towards Endo. Mudryk tries to win it back. Fernandez now steps forward out of midfield. He passes the ball to Nkunku, and Nkunku's got area to run into on this left-hand side. And with his pace, left-hand side of the penalty area, the cross cut out by Van Dijk, and out of play it goes for a corner.
Yeah, not for the first time, really good defending again, decision making from Van Dijk, because he's got the decision to think whether he comes to attack Nkunku or just wait and hope that someone gets to him. But once again, his positioning was spot on for that clearance.
You can't help but feel with time running out, just the one goal now would be enough as these two slug it out. The red corner to the blue corner, and it will be a Chelsea corner on this near side, the left. Under 2 minutes of this first period of extra time remain. Caicedo's told Mudryk to wait. He makes his way into the 6-yard area. It's aimed towards Caicedo. Headed out of the near post by Tsimikas. Downward header by Chilwell. Headed out by Konate. Bouncing ball. Tsimikas can't control it. Ball played forward by Bobby Clark. Only as far on that far side for Madueke to pick it up. On the right, collides past one challenge. Right corner of the area, goes past another. Stopped though by an outstretched leg of Van Dijk. Dan's now for Liverpool, who showed too much towards Enzo Fernandez. And Chelsea won the ball back. Palmer goes square. Caicedo midway through the Liverpool half here on 5 Live. Still no goals between these two in this final. As Chilwell spreads play out towards that far side, the right. Madueke brings it under control. Gusto is with him. Here is Gusto, right side of the box. Back it goes to Madueke. Gusto stayed forward. Gusto, Nkunku with his back to goal, looking to try and turn. Nkunku will win a corner kick for Chelsea, finishing the late period strongly.
Van Dijk again. Van Dijk with that tackle, with the block, but he gives away a corner for Chelsea though.
Liverpool, I think, are going to utilise that one final remaining substitution. Oh no, it's going to be the electronic board for Tim Robinson. I can guarantee you it won't be 6 minutes on this occasion. Corner kick then for Chelsea. We're in the last 30 seconds of this first period of extra time. Swung over from that far side, the right. Disasi's header, directed to Gusto on the left-hand side outside the penalty area. Disasi gets away from the challenge of Clark. Plays the ball back. Fernandez chips it forward. Palmer with a back header. Straight at Kelleher, easily saved. Throws it out to Tsimikas. We'll see how much added on time there will now be. Tim Robinson says the additional 60 seconds, which we're now into. 0-0 between Chelsea and Liverpool. Endo on the halfway line, able to turn. No pressure on that occasion. And then eventually Mudryk closes him down, but by then he's passed it to Konate. Gomez, forward ball, Dan's plucked out of the air by Petrovic.
Yeah, I could understand his idea there, Gomez. He's just trying to whip it in for Dan's who makes that run, but it's just too close to the goalkeeper, and he collects it well.
Here is Palmer, trying to shrug off the attentions of the Liverpool players. McConnell slides into the challenge, doesn't actually go out of play. Done well to keep it in on that left-hand side. Endo's forward ball. Clark unable to get away from Caicedo, who wins the ball for Chelsea. Forward ball, Madueke now in the central area, in the centre circle, looks for Mudryk. Kelleher, excellent anticipation.
Again, every time he's been called upon, Kelleher, he hasn't disappointed, has he? Couple of good saves, couple of really good clearances, just like that one there.
He was already out of his penalty area as that ball was forward to Mudryk, and that's the end of the first period of extra time, and still these two sides cannot be separated. 15 more minutes remain, otherwise we're looking at yet another penalty shootout between Chelsea and Liverpool. But at the end of the first period of extra time, it's Chelsea 0, Liverpool 0.
One or two tired bodies now. You see Harvey Elliott struggling a little bit. I don't know if it's cramp, but just got to get himself through these last 15 minutes. Give everything you've got now, everything you've got. No one wants it to go to penalties. We'd love it. A moment of magic from someone to decide this game. It's been a fantastic game, and it deserves that.
A quick reminder of the other sports stories this afternoon. Earlier in the Premier League, Wolves were 1-0 winners over Sheffield United. They're up to 8. Sheffield United 8 points from safety at the bottom in the Scottish Premiership. Celtic have closed the gap to Rangers to 2 points after a 3-1 win over Motherwell. Incredible end to the Six Nations weekend. France 13, Italy 13. France were down to 14. Italy hit the post with a penalty that would have won it for them with the last kick of the match. In the cricket, India are going to need 152 to win the 4th test in the series against England. And in Super League, Salford Red Devils held off Castleford Tigers to earn their first win of the season. It finished 26-22. Players back in their huddles. There must be so much exhaustion right now between these two teams. They've given everything. Let's get a closer look. Maz Farouqi's down pitch side.
Yeah, Harvey Elliott definitely suffering, just getting a bit of treatment down here. It's a really tense Liverpool bench towards the break in the first 15 minutes of extra time. Maurizio Pochettino looking much the calmer of the two managers on the touchline, and obviously he's still got one change that he can make in this period of extra time.
Paul Heckingbottom, the ebb and flow of this cup final has been amazing. Liverpool go full throttle and then Chelsea respond.
And it's been that in the first 90 minutes as well. Each team had its own moments, whether it was chances, whether it was possession, and that extra time was no different. I think, like I said, the young boys of Liverpool just produced the same energy, the same intent that they did in the first part of extra time, and I think that's their best chance to win it. Looks like they're making another sub now as well. Kwanzai coming on. I don't know if it is Harvey Elliott coming off. He's certainly looking a bit tired, but probably wouldn't be working on him if he was coming off.
Yeah, he's sitting on his backside at the moment as Jarell Quansah gets ready to take to the pitch. Liverpool players long out of their huddle and in position. Chelsea players now break out. The final words are on board for Maurizio Pochettino and Jurgen Klopp. There is very little more they can do with 15 minutes away from penalties, unless, John Murray.
Unless. And it is Ibrahima Konate who has been withdrawn. So another of the experienced players. He was on a yellow card, Konate, but 21-year-old Jarell Quansah, who's seen plenty of action this season with his 19 appearances across the various competitions. Quite a regular starter when the injuries have hit, but he's now on the field alongside Virgil van Dijk. So Chelsea 0, Liverpool 0, and we've got 15 more minutes before a penalty shootout. 15 minutes for this match to be won without recourse to penalties. Jurgen Klopp paces around there, penny for his thoughts. This final season might be his last cup final as the Liverpool manager. We don't know whether they're going to get back here in the FA Cup. We don't know whether they're going to have an incredible finish in Dublin, which I know Liverpool fans are very much looking at that. But that could be the farewell in Dublin, of all places, if they get to the Europa League final. But that's a long way away. They've got to focus now on these 15 minutes with the second period of extra time underway. Liverpool, the red shirts, shorts and socks, with the white trim, playing from right to left. And the ball with the newly arrived Jarell Quansah. Quansah just turning it to his left, to McConnell, former Sunderland youngster. Alan, from the northeast, got a former Sunderland youngster, former Newcastle youngster in young Bobby Clark as well on the field. As Liverpool with Quansah now across the halfway line. He's got options ahead of him, but I think he'll check back. In fact, he's given it away, but McConnell's able to head it forward to Clark. And then McConnell in on the challenge to keep it for Liverpool. And now Clark turns away from Caicedo, who slides in with the challenge. Yeah, and then he's fouled by Clark, so that's a free kick to Chelsea. That was very much the Caicedo of Brighton, wasn't it, from when he impressed so much there.
Yeah, he's done that well, actually. He's had to do that because when players are breaking on there, he's the one that's got to sit and try and fetch that ball back.
Yep, so 6:06 delayed on 5 Live, the football phone in with Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton, who will be sitting, listening, waiting for your calls on 08085 909 693, hashtag BBC 606, and text 85058. There's going to be so much talk, I'm sure, with them about the Liverpool goal that was disallowed, overturned by VAR. Excellent challenge by Gusto there on Tsimikas, and then Palmer is impeded as he's trying to bring it forward, and McConnell dragged him back. Yellow card for the Liverpool midfielder.
Yeah, he just got the wrong side of him, didn't he? He had to give that foul away, and doing so, he knew he was going to take a yellow card.
When Maurizio Pochettino made his final change, I was certainly hoping that it wasn't going to be Palmer, because certainly if there's someone in the Chelsea team that looks as though they could provide that moment, it is Palmer. And indeed it was Gallagher who'd had the opportunities, not able to take them, hit the post. Gallagher who made way, and now Palmer's in that central position.
Yeah, he's playing as the 10 role, isn't he? Yeah.
With Mudryk on the right hand side, who posed one or two problems towards the end of the first period of extra time. Palmer with a touch, but that into the path of Tsimikas. He has Diaz, he's been bright as well. Tsimikas, who took over from Robertson. Tsimikas turns back into the challenge of Mudryk, and Chelsea have come out with the ball, and Gusto plays it forward. And now Tsimikas is out of position here. Palmer over the halfway line, slips it infield. That was nicely done. Fernandes approaching the box, and now Mudryk on the right hand side. There is space here. Van Dijk in front of him. Mudryk back to the edge of the area, couldn't find the pass to Palmer.
Should have went in first time.
Palmer might though hit this. No, left-footed shot from him. Fernandez, Mudryk, left side of the area. Mudryk still going. Defender there with him, blocks it behind. Joe Gomez, corner Chelsea.
Mudryk, his teammates are mourning at him, and rightly so. The ball has to go in first time. He tries to cut back, which that then gives Liverpool another 3 or 4 seconds to get defenders back, and they did that, and then they cleared it.
Thought it was going to open for Mudryk. You won't want to be reminded, Alan, of how Mudryk scored the goal in the quarter-final when Chelsea were heading out. Mudryk with the corner then into the near post. That's headed away by a stooping Endo. Yep.
Remind me then.
No, I know. Second minute of added time. Chelsea were going out. Newcastle were going through. Mudryk scored. And here are Chelsea in the final.
So you have reminded me.
Well, I have. I fully reminded you, actually. Don't worry, Tuesday night, Alan. They'll make up for it, perhaps, against Blackburn. I presume you'll be there. Here's Gomez. Gomez just pulling the ball down in front of Mudryk. And then Endo infield towards McConnell. McConnell then out to Clark. Ball in the central third. Still 0-0. I know people all over this stadium will be having to make travel plans for later, but I do not see any empty seats. It's been a final, even though without goals, one that you just haven't been able to take your eyes off. McConnell plays it out to the right-hand side. Elliott does well, then beats Mudryk, then comes in field against Fernandez, and then plays a cross-field pass to Tsimikas. Tsimakas's ball in, bounces a long way, might have been handballed by Dans, comes out to the edge of the penalty area. Referees allowing play to continue. Tsimikas, he's on his right foot. Gusto slides in front of him, but I don't think there was any chance he was going to hit that on his right foot. And Chelsea have been able to scrape it away to the halfway line to Quanta, and then back to Kelleher. Kelleher who scored, remember, the dramatic winning penalty at the end, or at least the penalty that eventually won it, when Kepa then put his over the crossbar, the 2 goalkeepers in the final 2 years ago. Ball in the centre circle with Endo, and then Dans then straight into the path of Gusto. He gets his head down, and Gusto off on a run now towards the halfway line. He's gone through a couple of challenges, then gives it to the right-hand side to Madueke. Gusto continues his run, and Nkunku's in the middle, but it's Madueke who drops a shoulder, comes in field, it's a left foot shot that's deflected. Kelleher goes down, parries it, and then grabs it as Nkunku arrives.
So you can see what Madueke's trying to do. He's trying to work that space again and cut inside, and hopefully the space opens up for him, which it did, just to get his shot away with the left foot. And that shot goes in there, and it takes a deflection, and Kelleher did really well in not parrying it back out and just managing to keep hold of it.
Chelsea can make that extra change, as Ian was mentioning. It's Trevor Chalobah who's going to come on, who's missed almost all of this season. Came on as a substitute last weekend in Manchester. Chelsea, after that, had the full week to prepare for this game, and they've been able to bring on Mudryk and Nkunku and Madueke, now quite experienced player in Chalobah. But Liverpool's youngsters, Jurgen Klopp's turned to Klopp's kids, I suppose you could call them, and they might just do it for Liverpool, but it's absolutely in the balance as Liverpool with McConnell, one of the young men, passing the ball forward into the path of Elliott. An excellent sliding interception from Chilwell. Gomez, now McConnell again, has a look up, gives it back out to the right-hand side. Liverpool, Gomez then takes it on, and as the challenge comes in on him from Chilwell, the ball runs away out of play next to the corner flag, with the final touch being off the Chelsea man. And here is the change for Chelsea, and it is then Chilwell who is leaving the field. So the captain substituted, and he walks across to Fernandez, who receives the captain's armband. So the Argentine World Cup winner takes over as the captain. Chilwell coming off.
Yeah.
Surprised by that.
Give them a bit more energy down that left side for them.
So I'm guessing that Colwell will move across to the left-hand side, and Chalobah into central defence.
Just thinking whether about penalties as well as now, you've got to start thinking about that. And if he would have taken one, probably not. Yeah. Then if he's taken them off,
clearly not. Which, well, Pochettino will know what the plan is. Chelsea 0, Liverpool 0, and just 7 minutes to go. Long throw for Liverpool. Disassi heads it out on the edge of the box. It's played square. Right foot shot from Tsimikas, but close enough for goalkeeper Petrovic just to kick a couple of quick steps to his left and catch the ball just above his head.
Yeah, he had to have a swing at Tsimikas, but he was straight down the throw of Petrovic. No problem, no worries for him. Caught it really well.
Yeah, the lively Tsimikas, he'll be volunteering for a penalty like he did in the FA Cup final 2 years ago when he was the man who scored the clincher. Tsimikas bringing it forward. Clark with a cross, and that is absolutely poleaxed Caicedo on the edge of the area, but the deflection has taken it to Madueke, and Madueke is running it away downfield, and then Madueke was looking for the run of Nkunku and just at the moment checked his run, and the ball ran through to the goalkeeper.
What a waste. I mean, he's had 2 or 3 really good opportunities, Madueke, and he's wasted all 3 at the minute. Did exactly what Liverpool wanted him to do then, which was misplace the pass and not run at anyone. He got past 2 or 3 players.
Build-up's been great from Madueke. He's looked silky smooth, but Chelsea need the final pass. It's little Elliott, quick feet from him. In goes Fernandes. Just won back by Endo. Did well there against Nkunku. And the Japanese square towards Diaz. Diaz now has had a remarkable season with everything that's happened to him. Luis Diaz, I would imagine his dad, who's a part of that kidnap ordeal. He was at Anfield the other night. I'm sure he'll be in the stands here somewhere. Diaz just waits as McConnell gives it back towards Tsimikas. And we're 5 minutes away from penalties. Van Dijk goes for one of those Van Dijk passes. Halfway line, chested down by Gomez. Then Elliott, left-footed ball flighted right across the box. Taken down by Clark. Clark gives it back to the corner of the area. Tsimikas with a touch, curls it into the back post. Elliott with a header! And is it forced over the line? No, Petrovic has dropped on it. And he's got the ball right on the goal line, the Chelsea keeper. And Chelsea have kept it out.
I don't know how they've kept it out. It's a brilliant ball in from Tsimikas into Harvey Elliott at the far post, and he heads it down. The keeper makes one save, and then it comes back out again. And he's got to get up, and he's got to make another one, and he did just that. 2 important saves there.
That's Alan Shearer. Paul Heckingbottom is with us in the commentary box as well. Quick thought, Paul?
Yeah, he looks very close. I know the referee's got his watch dictating if it goes over the line or not, but he makes the save, Petrovic, with his left leg, and it looks really, really close as to whether or not it goes over the line.
But I'm sure the technology won't have let us down.
Never fails, does it?
No, absolutely. Chelsea 0, Liverpool perish the thought. Here's Fernandes, 10 yards inside his own half, right-footed ball across the field. Chalobah just this one down, and actual fact, Chalobah playing on the right-hand side of the defence as it goes back to Disassi across towards Colwill, and Colwill plays it out there to the far side, where it is taken on by Gusto, who's now on the left flank. Mudryk plays it infield, left foot shot by Palmer, but that is straight at Kelleher from inside the D, and he just gathers it into his chest.
Yeah, he just pulls the ball back, and it falls really kind for him, but he can't get the connection because it's a little bit high for him and straight at the goalkeeper.
Liverpool played it rather dangerously out from the back with 3.5 minutes to go before penalties again between Chelsea and Liverpool in a final. Downs, forward towards Tsimikas. It's been much in evidence, the popular Greek. And then crossing left-footed, but it hits Disassi, bounces out centrally. McConnell back to the left-hand side. Tsimikas again. McConnell, the number 53, to Clark, the number 42, and a curling shot. Took a deflection, but that took it up and over the top of the crossbar by a few yards. Petrovic just watched it sail away behind for another corner to Liverpool, another set piece.
Yeah, Clark did really well. He's just trying to do the step over to try and create that yard of space to get his shot away so he can whip it in with that right foot and try and get it into the corner, but it takes a deflection and another corner for Liverpool.
Great sporting situation we have here. All of the tiers of Wembley absolutely full, red and blue, and this cup final in the balance. Jurgen Klopp, Liverpool aiming for the quadruple. Mauricio Pochettino might be about to win his first trophy in England. Corner is taken in, glanced across, goal, and it's in! And it's Van Dijk who got the touch! Van Dijk who was denied by VAR! This time it's there! Chelsea net, and the Liverpool captain has the goal that may surely have won it for Jurgen Klopp, who celebrates on the sidelines with his coaches, and they dance together. There's barely any time for Chelsea to respond to this. 1-0 Liverpool lead against Chelsea in the League Cup final as the flares go off in the stands again.
Well, we thought he was hard done by earlier in the game. Not on this occasion. The ball was whipped in from the corner to the near post. He's free. He's all alone. He's just got to glance it and get his head onto it and guide it into the far corner. That's exactly what he did. And you can see the Liverpool fans going mad. And rightly so. What a header. What a time to do it.
What a time indeed. With, 90 seconds of extra time to play. Virgil van Dijk, the Liverpool captain, for the first time on an occasion like this. He may well be the man who has that famous three-handled silver cup in his hands in the next 10 minutes. And Tsimikas with a delivery.
They were static, the Chelsea players. Virgil was too quick for them. He gets the flight of the ball before any Chelsea player does, and he just guides it into the far corner. Keeper's got no chance. He's pulled one or two good saves off. No chance with that one though.
Lovely touch from Van Dijk. Perfect. The glancing near post header. Ben Chilwell, remember, was the man who was marking him for the goal that wasn't. So Chelsea now have got to do something at Kunku. Then a left foot shot from Madueke. Shouts for handball. Liverpool have cleared it out for a throw down the right-hand side. And referee Kavanagh says, hang on, we'll have a look at that.
Well, the Chelsea players appealed straight away, but I can imagine them appealing for anything with this amount of time left. I didn't think it was anywhere near a penalty.
It's been dismissed straight away. So Liverpool, Chelsea 0, Liverpool 1. And the ball played in by Chalobah. Liverpool now have just got to defend for the